Man, what the fuck is good, baby? Look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a mess today. I'm sick as actual fuck. I just spilled a matcha latte all over my Mac. I forgot cufflinks, and I didn't play the song I wanted to play in the intro. I had a song I wanted to play, I didn't fucking play it because I was running to get paper towels. But there's a couple things in life, my dear friends, that are more important than your health. There are a couple things in life that are more important than your health, and that is monitoring the fucking situation. And that is what we are here to do today. So welcome back to the fucking stream. Bear with me today. My voice hurts. I'm a little bit like groggy. I'm a little bit all over the place, but man, it's a beautiful fucking day because one digital gold Bitcoin is worth 80,045 United States dollars, and one private quantum resistant digital gold coin is worth 413 fucking dollars. It is so good to see you all. Welcome back. It was a beautiful weekend. I would love to tell you some weekend stories, but as you guys know, we stream on Twitch and I will be banned. I did get some new earrings. I have like 100 pictures. I've been sending them to everybody. Like my new earrings, like my new earrings, like my new earrings. I've been sending them out like a commodity. Everyone's seen them except for you guys. You guys are the last ones to see my new earrings, to be completely honest. I can't tell any weekend stories, but what I did do is I did two things this weekend, okay? Other than a little ripping, okay? Number one is I read a bunch of chapters in More Money Than God, and I just finished George Soros on reflexivity, and especially the part where they disprove efficient market theory, which means for you is we can make money in these fucking markets. We've already proven that. The book proves it. It's so good. All I did on Saturday morning was read, and it was like the best Saturday of my life. And second is I fucked around and got just disgustingly bullish on crypto. 3 coins in specific only. Everything else I can just shoo off, honestly. 3 coins in particular being BTC, Zcash, and Hyperliquid. And I have a fun, bro said ETH. I have a fun thesis for you. I'm excited to talk about crypto at the same time. Crypto is the most important topic today, which is wild. At the same time, we have had a full, undeniable outbreak of war. We just have. I'm looking at my computer right now. Brent oil's at 114 and showing no signs of stopping. And the UAE is getting drone strike. There's a million things happening right now. And so we're somewhere in between stocks, ATH, and oil, ATH, and crypto ready to break out. And it's a crazy fucking day. So also Korean stocks, Giga ATH. We're going to have one of our favorite guests come on the stream today, Wrecked Mando. It's been a while since he's come on. And he has been in the stream chat every day for the last like 3, 4, 5 weeks talking about buy Korean stocks. So time to get him on the stream. So he's going to be on in about an hour and 10 minutes. Before that, we have a million things to cover, a million things to get into. We have market close in 10 minutes. And you know what we have to do before we do anything, and that is Spicy Meatball, what's good? Villa, what's good? Kayla, what's good? Squabble, what's good? Jelly, what's good? Nasdaq, what's good? Quant, what is good? One positive dude, what's good? Jazz, what's good? Rex, what's good? First time chatter. XMT, what's good? Baby, what's good? Kyle, Saska, the GOAT. I got to come back over. What is good? What is good? Yonan, what's good? Stone, Poker, the whole squad in here. Seth, Bloom, Sir Wheathens, what's good? DTOS, what's good? Jackson Ray, what's good? Wavy, what price did you buy cards at? That's fucking awesome. I honestly, I can't believe I didn't buy it. I was so upset that I wanted to buy GameStop, 22 mil. Nice. You've been fucking banking shit yesterday. You've been banking shit recently. I fucked up and I really wanted to buy GME on a cards alpha with the eBay situation on Thursday, but Hyperliquid didn't have it and I couldn't buy it. And then I just, I don't know. I got mad and then I just, whatever. So I didn't buy cards, but we've gotten like 5 Ansem tweets in the last 2 days, and it looks good for on-chain. So does Asteroid. It's fucking incredible. So I'm not going to tell you any weekend stories, but the one I'll tell you real quick before we get into market close here very shortly is good thing you did buy GME. Yeah, I know. I kind of wanted to I saw the Ryan Cohen interview, which we're going to watch this morning when I woke up. I woke up late though because I'm fucking sick. And I saw it and I'm like, "Oh, I should short this." And then I look at the chart and I'm like, "Yeah, everybody else already shorted it." So, it's a fun trade both directions though. If you made money on it, congratulations. I'll tell you one quick story really fast is I kind of forgot how expensive gold is. And I've also forgotten that like gold that we trade is the gold that people wear. It's the same thing. And I went to David Yurman this weekend because I wanted to buy I actually went with a friend who wanted to buy something, but I ended up buying stuff. And I bought the earrings I'm wearing. And they had some really sick gold chains. I don't wear gold ever, but she was already like pulling all this stuff out for me. And so I was like, fuck it, let me try some shit on. And so I pick out this like relatively thin but nice gold chain from the display case. And I mean, look, David Yurman's designer, so it's tax expensive stuff, but it isn't like the craziest, most expensive. Like, it isn't like the most ridiculous ever, right? They sell really nice stuff, but it isn't like the craziest of all time. I'm not a gold guy. I only wear silver. And I put this gold chain on, and I'm looking at it in the mirror, and I'm like, this is fresh. I like this. So I'm going around mirror. I'm asking people in the store, what do you think of this? And they're like, oh, it's tough. I'm asking everyone, what do you think? They're like, yeah, I like it. And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, I could walk out with this. And I think to myself, oh, fuck, I forgot to ask how much it is. And so I go, because I just bought the earrings. They were expensive, but they weren't like $5,000, right? They weren't $1,000. They were under $1,000. Like, there wasn't like the craziest thing ever. And I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot to ask how much it is. And so I go back over to the sweet lady who's flirting with me. Definitely not because I'm spending money, but because she actually likes me. And I'm like, oh, by the way, how much is this necklace that you gave me to walk around the store? And I'm asking everyone if they like it because I like it. And she looks at me and she's like, oh, it's 45. I said 100? She said 1,000. It's like, bruh. What? 45,000? Why are you letting me wear it? Do I look like I'm about to spend $45,000? I'm like, bro, I'm wearing gray Nike sweatpants and a white tee. Do I look like I'm about to spend $45,000 on this chain? And she's like, well, to be fair, gold is the most expensive. I said, I know. And I'm with a friend. I'm with Rasmer. I could dox that. I'm with Rasmer. And he's like, 45,000. I'll be honest. I would rather buy Bitcoin. And she looks at him and she's like, I just don't think Bitcoin's real. And then I look at Rasmer. Rasmer looks at her. She looks at me. And at the same time, we all go, can't wear Bitcoin. Bink. Yeah, you're right. Fuck it. Whatever. Not buying Bitcoin and I'm not buying the chain. And I walked out with, we all said at the same time, bink. And I walked out with my earrings and gave her back the $45,000 chain. And so she didn't want to give me her phone number, but she gave me her business card. So that's what I got. $45,000. I'm like, man, it wasn't even that heavy. Like, it was thick, but it wasn't like it wasn't insane. I fucking walked my ass outside, hooked a couple lefts, and bought a fake one is what I did. So $45K for gold. She said, to be fair, it's the most yeah, it was 18 carats. I don't really know if that's like what that is in term. Here, the thing about it is I don't know like value of jewelry. Like, I don't like I have these earrings in. They're diamonds, but I'm like, can't you just didn't we do a stream segment where we just buy like, I mean, they're tough. These are tough. Come on. But didn't we do a stream segment where they can just can make diamonds? Like lab carat diamonds or whatever. So I'm like, I don't even know what these are worth. No, they're worth nothing. It's just like it's silver and like they just look cool. But there isn't a like melt value of these things. So that yeah, 45K on Scam Altman coin, yes. 45K on a David Yurman Cuban gold, no. Is basically where I'm at. So that's basically was my weekend. That was basically my weekend. Oh, I'll tell you one other thing. I hung out with somebody cool this weekend, a trader, like a macro trader, and you know what's funny is I want to show you this, and then we're gonna go to market close in 4 minutes. I showed up with them. Wow, the White House is on lockdown following reports of shots fired a few blocks away. Man, they got to get this shit under control. Jeez. Is anyone in DC right now? Is anyone in DC right now? That's fucking crazy. They got to get this shit under control, man. Oh, but I'll tell you this story real quick, and then we'll do market close. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. I hung out with this macro trader this weekend. Like he's not a crypto guy, but he like knows me enough. And he happened to be in the area. I saw him outside and we just like started hanging out. And I'm just pressing him with questions. And I'm firing questions at him. And he knows about Counterparty and the stream and what we do, but not that well, but like enough. He's like aware of it. And anytime I talk to one of these guys that's sort of outside of our scene, they always are hitting me with like business advice. Like if you want to sell, you got to do this, you should change it to this, you got to do this, you have to do this thing, you have to do this thing. I think you should figure out how to get out. You can't stream forever. Like there's a timeline. You can't do this forever. And at the very end, like clockwork, every single person I talk to, the conversation goes the exact same way. They conclude it with, oh, by the way, I want to start streaming. And I'm like, bruh. It's like rich guy that's made it and has everything, they want to stream. Everybody wants to stream. It's crazy. All the finance guys want to stream. All the traders want to stream. And so we're on stand-up yesterday, and DNAP is like, yo, I'm on important work call. My left monitor has the Cavs Game 7 on. Go Cleveland. And DNAP's like, are you watching the Jaylen Brown stream? I'm like, what are you talking about? So I pull it up. Jaylen Brown is live watching the whole Game 7 that they lost against Philly. Go Sixers. And breaking it down play by play as if he didn't play he's reacting to it like Flight reacts as if he didn't play in the game. But it was insane. And he had 10K viewers, but he had less viewers than like Lacey in Stable Ronaldo. It was nuts. And it's just like the end game. Across all niches, it's the end game to be a streamer. It's wild. And he was shitting on the refs. He's shitting on Embiid. It was really funny. But it's crazy. I meet all these like really cool trader guys, and at the end of it, they're like, I want to be a streamer. The traders want to stream, the streamers want to trade, and everybody wants to speculate on cryptocurrency. All right, big day today, great day today. We have an hour until Mando comes on, and we have more than an hour of stuff to cover, so let's get into it. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, and you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. YouTube chat, I see you guys active in there. I don't pay attention to it, but you should come over here to Twitch because it's more fun. We'll gift you a sub if you need a sub. I gave Malcolm my credit card, so if you need a sub, just say, give me a sub, and he'll give it to you. Market close just happened. We have Palantir earnings coming in any moment, and we have a plethora, a myriad, a hydra of topics to cover. Before I go on market close, let's talk about it. This weekend, this morning, Friday night, what did you buy? What did you sell? What did you make money on? What did you lose money on? What are you looking to enter? What are you looking to exit? What do you like? What do you hate? What is going to go up? What is going to go down? I sold on my Apple. What percent gain? Jackson Ray, congrats. Long Zach, tailing Taiki, nice. Hey, I'm from YouTube. I'll start watching if I get a sub. Snowman, no begging. Psych, now I'll give you a sub. Cards, always cards. Cloudflare. Close, I'm all in cash. Would you close, Tingle? Take two. Really? From our stream? Bitcoin only, bought Testicle up on Asteroid. Only holding hyping cards. Nice, Wavy. I like how you trade, Wavy80. You've been doing good. Close bio into Asteroid. Nice. Oil 106. You hate yourself. BE Intel. Made money on all today. Congrats. Palantir earnings. Is it out? Is it out? Is it out? Is it out? Asteroid. You little fucker, Quan. I'll tell you what. Up BTC ETH. What else? Peptide coins. Like meme coins. Rivian. Long Zcash. Up on Spot Fun. What is Spot Fun? Been sticking with those stocks. Been telling you this is the coin. Round shift. ES longs. That's a tough one. What is spot fun? I've never heard of that. Lab and bio hit this weekend. Hims. Oh, I didn't even check it. I forgot to check Hims today. I woke up really late today. I've been playing from behind on stocks, but I didn't pay that much attention to stocks today because I have so much goddamn money in Zcash. It's disgusting. I'm really going for it on this one, fellas. BlackBerry, that's a fun trade. Do you have a thesis? I'm really going for it on this one. I'm not going to lie, fellas. Stocks ripped this morning before war. I know. Anything else before I look? Anything you want me to add to my watch list before we look? Last call. What's your target for Zcash? If I said it, you would leave the stream. I'm going to just, when we finish market close, I'm going to just give you a full crypto thesis, and then we'll go from that. SanDisk, Micron, nice. Solana AI, I'm sorry to hear that. Asteroid, you can add to your wallet, not your watch list. Bernie, nice. All right, let's do it. Wild day today in the markets, and once again we hit that fun lucky number of the S&P 500 SPY down 0.3%. You can't get away from it, but we are fully back at war, and it's kind of scary. I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of scary, but I'll save all my takes. I'll go objective first, and then I'll go opinion. And my voice hurts. Tell me if I sound like shit. My voice hurts. I'm lightheaded, and I'm out of it. So I'm going to do what I can here. SPY down 0.4. Q's down 0.2. Software ETF IGV looks, dare I say, like one of the better charts in markets right now. Really. I mean, this is a really fascinating level if it can break. Software ETF. I don't know. What do you just do? Buy Palantir? What do you buy? Instead of the ETF, there's all this garbage in here. What do you buy? But this is a nice line, and it wants to slam above it. What do you buy? What do we like? Adobe? Your mom, thanks for the 5 gifted. Now, what do we buy here? What do we buy? My company got fucking acquired, and I'm still here for stream. Congrats! Did you really? Wow! Congratulations! Really? This is your company? Really? Wow. Wow. Hey, Hey, this is a daily chatter. Give my brother some congratulations. That's awesome. Congratulations, bro. Houdini swap be cooking on fees. Tell them how you really feel in the chat. Wow, congratulations, brother. That's fucking sick. That's a daily chatter right here. Good for you, man. I don't know what Soul Strategies is. What is this? Public trade Solana Infra. Wow. That's lit, man. Good for you, dude. That's awesome. He's still here. He's still here in the stream. What do we buy for software? I'm crazy on GEV. I don't know what that is. What is GEV? Yeah, maybe you could buy MSFT. Dare I say that out loud? I don't know. Also, first time chatter. Welcome, brother. But we'll get there. Russell's down 1%. The Korean index is up so much. 5%. It's disgusting. SPX down half. The Dow down 1%. Ticked. Look at this tick right off of the 50K level. Ticked right off it. Back down it goes. Nasdaq down 0.3. And the semi ETF red. SOX red. Minus 1%. Who could have believed it could ever happen? Earnings guy. What do we got? Palantir earnings are out. Earnings per share beat by 18%. Revenue beat by 6%. This is probably your software long, huh? Daily. Nice. 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 This is a decent looking chart, I must admit. Anyone in Palantir or no? Is anyone in Palantir? I don't know, man. This is tradable off software ETF. There's a lot of garbage in here. But Sarah, what's good? There's a lot of garbage in here, but that's a pretty sick beat. I'm not gonna lie. You're long, Tulip King, nice. Let's check on HL. Let's check on HL. Palantir. Ooh, it's a bad pair. Palantir. Nice. All right, moving on. Crypto. I'm going to give you my crypto thesis once we get through all of these tickers, but I will just say it is man, it would not take much, okay? This is what I was saying over the weekend. Look, I understand I've been bear cooked for a while here on crypto, okay? I've had some bad clips. I've been pretty depressed about crypto as an asset class. You know where my portfolio lands. I've been pretty depressed about crypto for a while now, all things considered. You've had every right to be depressed about crypto since 1010. But the last couple days, specifically the last couple weeks, given how stocks, how semis, how big tech is traded, and where we stand right now, the crypto thing looks, man, it just looks like things could get a little bit reflexive here. I personally am only interested in 3 coins. I think everything else is a complete waste of time. I think there's only 3 things that are interesting right now. What are you guys long crypto related? What are you long crypto related? This to me looks insane. Number 1, BTC looks insane. At least for some up. XMR Dash, really? Why Dash? This to me looks insane. This looks insane, and I have gotten extraordinarily long on Zcash. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of going for the big one right now. I'll tell you why in a minute. I'm sort of unintentionally found. I mean, you know my strategy, right? Feeler, bid higher. I'm just buying the whole way up. I'm sort of found. I don't know if I played it great. Okay, I don't know if I played it great. I maybe sized up. Like my bigger buys were later or higher up on the chart, which is a little bit weird. There will be some learnings from this, whether I print or don't make money. But this chart is unbelievable. Yellows are all my ads. Starting here, 350, 60, 70, 80, 90, 400, then 405, 405, 405. This chart looks unbelievable to me, and then this one also looks unbelievable to me. Solana's not doing much, and the only on-chain stuff that's running is on, like Asteroid's on ETH. This is for, I don't know what price I get excited about Solana again. I think XMR looks sick as well. I've just never traded it before. Bonds are ripping, which is terrifying. 10-year and 30-year, which I think I took off this chart for no particular reason. US 30-year. I don't know what the best, here. I don't know shit about bonds, but I do know over 5% on the 30 is scary. And stretch is basically at 100, which means we have to check this. And no, not quite. They haven't bought anything today. XMR is actually used, but Zcash just has the hype. Now, the thing that's cool about BTC is SPY is down 0.5%. Bitcoin's up. Gold is down 2.2%. Bitcoin's up. Silver's down 3.5%. Bitcoin's up. Oh, man, it fucking fires me up. But all right, let's go through the rest of these stock names. Oil and energy. Is it not better to have crypto down while stocks run so crypto looks a little more appealing to rotate profits into? That's what we're going to talk about. Everything energy related is just up the fucking nonstop. CL and Brent are pretty terrifying. We'll get to them in a second. Defense is basically flat except for Palantir, which had a nice earnings beat, but is down 145 actually. Retracing the move. Some of these names are disgusting. One, Sive, the Serenity Photonic stock, which I tried to fucking buy, but Robin didn't have it. It's Robinhood's fault I didn't 2x spot on this. It's up 48% today. It's I said it was some whiff, and it's just traded like it. It's just, this is, bro. So it's only worth $11 billion. This type of shit, this Zcash is like a $7 billion coin. This is now worth 12 after it pumped 50%. Micron gap up today, up 7. This is the Air Mass entry, who I'm trying to get on stream. Came back after 6 months, full ported Micron at the Pico top, and is up a good amount. SanDisk again keeps going. Oracle had a sick day. Amazon had a sick day. You got money in Robinhood now? No, I don't. The money I was supposed to put in Robinhood, I gambled on Scam Altman Coin. Adobe kind of sucks. Tesla fine. Meta is pretty ugly. Nvidia flat. Microsoft, do we dare? Pechulia's got it. crazy entry with MUN 10 mil MAO. He posted it SS today. Yeah, he's one of the goats. We will get him on at some point. You could maybe long MSFT on IGV breakout. Is that a crazy thing to say? Bloom down like 1%. Apple down 1.17. Jackson Ray sold though. Intel down 4 to prices not seen since Friday close, 95, and then AMD down 5.5. Qualcomm, which is kind of a fun one, on found out today Peter Thiel is gay. Yeah, congrats, welcome. Oracle looks good. Oracle does look decent. All right, moving on to before we get to altcoins, some of these consumer names. Crypto stocks crazy. Circle's up 20%, bro. Look at this. This is a good looking name. Anyone long Circle? Also, if you're on YouTube, Twitter, you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy, twitch.tv/threadguy. Circle looks sick. We should add Nebius to this, DNAP, huh? I had a crazy day. Nebius is up 14 today. Figma is up 6.5. Coinbase up 6. Roblox maybe bottomed. Got a long way to go to the Rhino entry. I hit. Take Oracle off this. Hood up 4. But really, it's crazy. Hood just trades like a crypto stock. It's honestly, I don't know why you would hold Robinhood in 2026. There, I said it. Easy came on the stream, showed Robinhood. I don't know why you hold Robinhood in 2026. Don't know. I don't get the thesis at this stage. Why you would hold it? It just trades like crypto beta. I don't know. Why would you hold it? If anyone has a Robinhood thesis, I would love to hear it, but I don't get it. Camilo likes Hood. Yes, he does. MicroStrategy looks interesting. I think they have earnings tomorrow. Was that true? Somebody fact check me on that. I think they have earnings tomorrow. And then here's IGV. IBKR, I do get and I do like. Is 81, up 1.5%. And then the last that snapped down a little bit. Nothing else I care about. But the one thing I do care about is this. GME, which is a fun one. There is news that they submitted a bid to buy eBay for $55 billion. eBay is worth $55 billion. I think they offered a little bit over $55 billion. GameStop is worth like 15, 10, 11. It's worth 11. It's worth more this morning. And Ryan Cohen, who I like, by the way. What do you like? Yes or no on Ryan Cohen? I like him. A lot of people don't like him. I like him. I think he's a fucking chat. I think he's good looking, man. Something about a 40-year-old fresh founder in a leather jacket on CNBC makes me trust I don't know. Makes me trust the stock. I don't know what to tell you. He's a good looking guy. He's got aura. Like he just like passes the like fizz check. And they submitted a bid to buy GameStop, and I won. It's a weird position because they are worth $15 billion, $10 billion. GameStop, they have like $9 billion in cash. GameStop is eBay's worth $55 billion. And so they basically have to like triple the supply of just like dilute the ever loving fuck out of GameStop to get the buying power to buy this. And he had a very bizarre Andrew Ross Sorkin interview on CNBC. And so what I wanted to long GME like last Thursday when this was a rumor. By the way, for what it's worth, I think the eBay thing makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. GameStop obviously wants to go all in on this gotcha Pokemon pack stuff. eBay is a fucking behemoth, and it's pretty dead. Like it's a hollow behemoth. Like eBay is kind of falling on weird times, but it's a massive marketplace. When's the last time you use eBay? I use it all the time. But I'm weird. I use it all the time. I probably buy something on eBay, I don't know, once a week. And I have some family members that use it a ton. So I know my mom uses it a lot. I use eBay all the time. When's the last time you used eBay, chat? What do you buy? Do you want to see the last thing I bought? Wait, do you actually want to see? See if I can find it. Oh, fuck, I have it. It's outside. It's so tough. It's that Warren Buffett tee. grape costume. I buy like dumb here it is. I bought this in a tee on eBay the other day. I'm gonna wear it on Friday stream. Warren Buffett or new top banana. And it's like Warren Buffett and a bunch of people in like fruit costumes. Tough. Tough. Objectively hard. This type of shit you buy on eBay. Like, you're not getting this on Grailed, brother. This is a steal. It's low-key GameStop or eBay should moon on this. But we're gonna I'll save some takes because I want to get to the GME section. We'll watch the interview and whatnot. But it pumped pretty hard on Friday on news that they were going to submit a proposal. It pumped like, I don't know. You had like an 8% candle. And then today, from top wick to close, down 10% in flat post. So it was a pretty bad interview on both parties, and it just felt like there was no way it was going to happen. And the people are scared of the dilution as well. So we'll get there in a minute. And then, yeah, card down. Nothing else we care. A bunch of people said they're in Rivian. Last but not least, alts. We'll do alts on chain. And how was it bad on Sorkin's part? He asked the most basic question. No, I thought Sorkin was good. I thought Cohen was weird, and then Sorkin like didn't know what to do. Oh, Hims. Sorry. I just bought his book, by the way. Andrew S. Sorkin. Where's Hims? Here. 27. Looks decent. 1929, I think it's called. I just bought it. Last but not least, alts. Galaxy looks sick. No US NVO. The Leopold kid is shredding. Yes, he is. NVO. Nova Nordisk. Wow, nice. We should add this, actually. You see rumors Kick is dying. And what's the other one? USAR. I don't know what this is. Oh, rare earth metals. Not much. Altcoins look terrible across the board, really. There's 3 coins that are interesting. Looks terrible. Monad looks fine, I guess. I mean, nothing. Pump Fund, just so uninspiring. Mega ETH, terrible. Dogecoin, I was long, I closed for like a small couple percent gainer. Just on its chip, no motion. None of this shares any motion. Zcash and Hype, that's it. Now, last but not least, we'll look on chain. And I got to admit, there's 2 coins that just look wild. Number 1, Asteroid. I got to admit, I don't know what they're doing to this fucking token. Have you covered Cerebrus? No, not yet. We're going to cover today. I don't know what they are doing to this fucking token, but it's not really up that much, but it's unbelievable. I mean, to be fair, it's up a good amount from the like local bottom, but it's pretty unbelievable. I mean, what is this? It's up 44%. It looks impressive. Daily looks crazy. You got like 4 Ansem tweets today, which was nice. But they're not going to get me on this one. I'm sorry. They're not going to get me on this one. And then last but not least is cards, which is nuts. Wave, you're in at what, 20 on this? This is the type of shit that would you do Sham Sunday? Of course. This is the type of chart that would get 22 mil. You gave it to us at 21 mil. I'm geeked. Do you think I gave it to you? Because I didn't think that I did. I'm geeked. Do you think I gave it to you? That fires me up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm geeked that you think I gave it to you. Like I don't know. I don't think I like did not give it to you, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm slamming cards. You know, that's sick. It's sick. I mean, this is the type you brought it up last week. Yeah, I mean, it looked good. It looked good. This is the type of chart and the type of coin. Look, I mean this so wholeheartedly. If Asteroid goes to 300 mil, nothing really changes. Like, people get a little bit excited, but I don't think there's some like massive wealth of, and I mean this, Quant, I love you. Nothing really changes if Asteroid goes to 300 million. There isn't some wealth effect, trickle down, excitement back into memes. I don't think much changes if Asteroid doubles. If cards doubles, goes to 100 mil, that is the type of thing that gets people out of their seats, laptops open, keys in hand, ready to buy. Marketing, what's good? That is the type of move that would get people like, all right, because says a guy who have a long on cards. No, I don't. I was told that you are a god. It depends what you worship. That is the type of move because it isn't just a meme. It's like a good coin. It's just a good coin. Cards. They make a lot of money. It's the hottest narrative in the world is Pokemon cards and gambling together. They figured out a way to make it a crypto token. They make a lot of money. They buy back a lot of the coin. And I think it's just like I think it's a good coin. And call me crazy, but I would rather see people starting to slam some like good coins than just pure memes. Sorry. I don't know. Sorry. I don't know. Like, I'm not rooting on your downfall. I'm just saying, I don't think much changes if Asteroid goes up. But if cards goes up, things get interesting. I don't know what to tell you. That's my take. And so it fires me up. By the way, Quant, I really hope it does go to 1B. I hope you make an M, and I hope you buy me something nice when you do, because I've contributed undeniably to that. Now, most importantly today is we are back at war, ladies and gentlemen. We're back at war. And this is I mean, you tell me, what do you do here? Long, short, nothing. What do you do? You forgot about troll? No, I didn't. Buy him a real watch, none of that Frank Mueller. What do you do? What do you do? Long, short, nothing. I know it looks good, but look, to be fair, this looked good. This looked good. This looked good. This looked good. This looked really good. This also looked good. And so we had escalations over the last couple days. I'll play the escalations. I'll give you the take. Really today. Number one, this came out. What's today? May 4th. This came out this morning. This came out this morning. And my headphones are off. I will say before we go any further, this chart is just like ridiculous. Just completely ridiculous. So this came out this morning. One.
That the failure of the United States government to fulfill its commitment in the negotiations, Islamic Republic of Iran declares the Strait of Hormuz completely closed again. No vessel of any type or nationality is allowed to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Any vessel intending to exit the Strait of Hormuz that cross the red line between Hengam Island and Mina Sagat Port, and any vessel intending to enter the Strait of Hormuz
Don't understand Persian, brother. It's in English.
that cross the red line between Kuf Mubarak and Fujairah Port will be met with a severe response from the IRGC Navy and will be destroyed. This is
The Strait of Hormuz is closed. You want to close captions? The Strait of Hormuz is closed, and if you try to come through the IRGC, he's gonna fuck you up. Is what he said. That's what he said. So okay, let's just go bang, 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 and we'll get to the meat and what do they call it? The sauce and meatballs. This is true that no U.S. ships have been struck, which is very important. This is very important that that's the case. There have been some tankers hit by projectiles. I think one was South Korean. I don't exactly know, but there was a couple tankers hit by projectiles, and then there was drone strikes and missiles just hammering on the UAE, leading to this petroleum industrial site on fire, which is scary. You don't want to see oil infra on fire. That is bad. The U.S. Navy also came out and called the Strait mined, which is also scary. It's crazy that we're still going back and forth on this. Is it mined? Is it not? It's ridiculous. Here's one of the UAE ships. I mean, that's like a real deal fire, huh? Look at that thing. So I don't know. Is it old? Is it real? Is it recent? No community notes. I'm going to go with it's real. Followed by the fire. How big is this? Let's see how big this is. How big is... It's 12 square meters. Serves as the Middle East's largest commercial hub for refined oil product storage and the third largest oil storage hub globally. Holy fuck. That is... Holds 70 million barrels. That's a lot of barrels. The entire U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve had like 1.2 billion. That's a lot. I mean, it's crazy that we're back here, man. It really is unbelievable. I mean... That is a real deal fire, brother. The 72-hour war. So that's what that is. Also, what are you talking about? CIA Dolphins. What is this? CIA Dolphins. There's nothing new about this. Where did this come from? Is it a coin or what is this? Why are you talking about CIA Dolphins? So, anyways, on fire. Ugh. On fire, and they went after the UAE really hard, blowing up tankers, striking massive oil refineries. Nothing U.S. related has been hit yet. Crude Oil 231, who's an 8-figure oil trader, as we know. I told you this is the underlying reason behind the UAE's move to leave OPEC. I'd like to thank everyone who mocked me for it. Do you really think Iran was attacking the UAE for no reason? It's because they detected something. I don't entirely know what he means by that. And so an Iranian, this is basically this morning, bang, 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 bang. An Iranian military source said no official threat against the UAE has been announced. So they didn't announce. Read his reply. Fuck. I closed it. UAE take a side with the US and Israel, an active role in this war. So that would be bad. They have said they're going to retaliate, or retaliation is warranted, which would be very bad. And then bang, bang, bang here. An Iranian military source said no official threat against the UAE has been announced, adding that reports are based solely on media accounts. So it's like, okay, no official threat, but you just, ripped ballistic missiles at them. And then Trump on Fox News says that Iran is now showing greater flexibility in talks while warning that Tehran will be blown off if it targets U.S. ships. Followed by Iran taking shots at South Korean cargo ships during Project Freedom. Time for South Korea to come and join the Iran mission. We've shot down several small boats. It's all they have left. And then this is obviously the first meaningful escalation we've had in a few weeks. I'll read the tweet. Fuck it. Iran has taken some shots at unrelated nations with respect to the ship movement, Project Freedom, including I've never heard of Project Freedom, including a South Korean cargo ship. Perhaps it's time for South Korea to come and join the mission. We've shot down several small boats, or as they like to call them, fast boats. It's all they have left. Other than the South Korean ship, there has been, at this moment, no damage going through the strait. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth We made it 49 minutes before Hegseth. And Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Kane, will have a news conference tomorrow morning. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And that is basically where we are at, where Trump says negotiations are close. We've been sort of waiting on them for like 3 months now. Trump says negotiations are close. Iran says it didn't intend to attack the UAE, but it did. The UAE says it wants to retaliate, and Brent oil is ticked its highest price since March 9th, 2026. At the same time, Bitcoin's breaking out at 80K. The S&P made it a new all-time high on Friday. Every AI / semi / big tech stock is at a emphatic all-time high. Zcash is breaking out, and everything is going up at the same time. Bonds as well. And so now what? Well, here's the deal. I have thought about what am I going to do here. Everybody wants to know, threadguy, what are you doing? You absolutely binked the oil trade the first time. You traded it so well with such a level head. You were calm, cool, collected. You had an entry. You had an exit. What are you doing this time? And my answer is that I've been radicalized over the last 2 months. I have been radicalized to believe that taking a doomer stance on markets because of this war is the middle curve angry guy yelling at the wall. Because at the end of the day here, the same thing has happened the entire time. Is we've never not been at war over the last 2 months. And every single day the market's like higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And I think that you can come on this app and you can come on Twitter and you can come on Twitch, you can come in the stream, you can come in the chat, and you can scream and bitch and moan and complain, which is what I was doing before, that Trump admin is manipulating markets and Besson isn't letting it go down and oil should be higher and this and that and that and that and that. Or you can fade every escalation announcement. You can fade every oil pump that the market has faded for the last 2 months. And you could just stay long or stay cash and bullish and stay away from the oil longs. And that's where I land. I'm not touching them. I have absolutely zero reason to touch an oil long. I have zero reason to touch an oil short. Okay. I think the crypto thesis is fascinating right now. I'm really long Zcash. And I think at a certain point, it's like, do I want to be right and cry about the market being manipulated, or do I want to make money? And I would like to be both, but if I could only pick one, I would make money. And so I think that there is a big problem in the Middle East. I've never not said this. I think that there's massive supply constraints. I think that there is shortages everywhere. And I think that at some point here, we are maybe going to have a disaster. But Trump admin, Besson, Trump, everybody in between has basically shown up to this point complete and full competence in their ability to juggle escalating the Middle East and keeping the market high. And after I got bear cucked at Trump saying I'm going to nuke Karg Island and oil was at basically all-time highs, I have convinced myself that everything is a fade until further notice. And so that's how I'm going to continue to trade this. I think you can go cash, and that is super respectful and respectable. But long oil here, just, I don't know. It's still lower than the first weekend. And so if you're long oil here, I think you know something that I don't. You must know something I don't, and you must understand the supply chain in a way that I don't. And that doesn't mean it isn't going to go up. And that doesn't mean people aren't going to make money from it. But it's not going to be me. Okay? Another thing I want to call out from this is main takeaway. If there is a main takeaway of this escalation event, is that once again, the crypto Twitter anons are just on it. Pee poo poo, Calvin, Crude Oil 231. These guys that have been screaming from day one, fade the oil market. It's worse than the market says. There's mines, there's escalations, they have missiles, da 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 da. They've just been right. Once again, the hyper-autistic anon PFP with like 20,000 followers that tweets all day, hyper fixated on one topic, is usually a better source of alpha than any major media outlet. Okay, Axios is just Trump. We had this on Friday. Axios is just Trump. Every other news outlet is biased and or late, and the Twitter anons are alpha every single time. I really think. Also, those same Twitter anons, we were talking about this on Morning Stand Up. They priced it in right here. They priced it in right here. How bad it was on March 9th. They all carried out cash and they exited. And for the most part, I think this PA has just been chuds like me that have no edge, no real conviction, and nothing in between, just like shop cucking themselves out, really. Like, I think most of the sharps made the money on the first day. And anybody else trying to trade oil convincingly that doesn't really have edge in oil markets after that has been driving themselves mad. And so I sit here and I stand on bullish and long until Trump fails to show he could do both. I don't know. I don't know why you would fade it. It's played out for 2 months. And so we'll see what happens. It doesn't mean oil can't go much higher from here. And at some point it probably will. But near term, I am optimistic. And maybe I'm your inverse radar. Maybe I am. But I don't know. I find myself optimistic here and fading this hard despite the move up. Also, this chat is always alpha. Not going to lie. I fully agree. So here's what I want to do. I want to watch this video. 5 minutes of it. I'm going to get up real quick. I'm going to play it. 5 minutes. I love this account. Bought oil first time we traded here. $89. Haven't touched it since. Congratulations. I love this account. We're going to play 5 minutes of this video. I'm going to get up. When I come back, I'm going to give you my crypto thesis, and then we're going to talk to Mando about Korean stocks. It's going to be a movie. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. Jackson Ray, is it good? Yeah, if you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy, Zcash 414. It looks incredible. I'm optimistic about life for the first time in a couple weeks, really. I am. First time in a couple weeks, I'm optimistic about life. So let's play it. A couple minutes of it. I'll be back in a second, and we'll see where we end up.
At 5:32 p.m., Donald Trump announced a ceasefire with Iran. And from this announcement, we learned two things. First, Truth Social is the single greatest invention of our generation, and is totally not a useless social media platform. And second, markets don't like uncertainty, because the very next day after the announcement, the markets ripped. The S&P closed up 2.5%, the Nasdaq almost 3%, and the Dow climbed more than 1,300 points, which marked its best day in almost a year. But it didn't just stop there, because a few weeks later, stocks were back at record highs, even as the ceasefire was actively falling apart in real time. Traditional financial media was calling this a relief rally, that the markets were celebrating peace, but the truth is, that's not what this was. This was something else entirely. But to understand what actually happened, why markets can be at all-time highs when there's a war going on, you first need to understand what Wall Street looked like going into this, because there's a lot more to this story than just a relief rally. On February 28th, the US and Israel launched joint airstrikes on Iran. Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei was killed. Then Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and the market had its worst 5-week losing streak in nearly 4 years. The S&P was down nearly 9% by the end of March. And while your retirement account was quietly screaming, there was something else happening underneath the surface. Wall Street was beginning to panic. Hedge funds didn't just start repositioning. They were selling at the fastest pace in 13 years. And that's not a loose estimate. That's hard data. Because Goldman Sachs had a front row seat.
Hey, we forget this shit to get gnarly, I'm not gonna lie.
To the show. They run what's called a prime brokerage desk, which services most of the major hedge funds on Wall Street, which means they see what these hedge funds are buying, what they're selling, and just how leveraged they are. And according to Goldman's own numbers, Q1 hedge fund selling in North America was the largest since April 2020. Gross leverage was sitting over 300%, near an all-time high. And short exposure to macro ETFs like SPY and QQQ hit the highest level since the pandemic. And then on March 19th, commodity analyst Rory Johnston said this.
If you think about some kind of massive detonation in the oil market supply chain,
Rory!
in the Middle East, and there's this shock wave that's kind of moving out. This shock is too large for the system to handle, and it will begin to creak and break the longer this goes on.
Just how many barrels per day were those disruptions, the squeeze of 2008, and how big is this in comparison?
It's bigger than anything in history. Every analyst I speak with, people again that are, I respect people that are not alarmists, people that make fun of the alarmists. They're all terrified. Let's say the East-West pipeline is maxed, there's no issues at Yanbu, the Houthis don't get involved, et cetera, et cetera. In that scenario, with the Strait remaining closed, we still need to shed 15 million barrels a day of global demand. And that just means prices, $250, $300 a barrel Brent. We will hit all-time highs in that scenario on an inflation-adjusted basis, almost guaranteed, almost by necessity. So I do think in that scenario, again, recession is too light a term. We're talking depressionary.
Fast forward 6 weeks later, and this might be the funniest take of the year.
This is why the all-time high is so just ridiculous. Is that everybody was like depression.
We'll come back to why in a second, but at this point, the sentiment
You
on
want me to keep playing this? I like this video.
the street was pretty clear. Everyone was bearish. Then, on the evening of April 7th, Trump announced the ceasefire. And when the markets opened the next morning, it was like someone turned Jerome Powell's money printer back on. Because over 400 names in the S&P finished green, 13 stocks printed all-time highs, Brent crude dropped around 13.5%, and WTI crude fell over 16%, marking the biggest single-day decline since April 2020. But here's where the mainstream explanation for all of this starts to break. According to maritime intelligence firm Windward, who utilizes AI to cross-reference digital GPS signals with satellite radar and imagery, only 5 outbound carriers were actually detected moving through the strait by midday. This is a roughly 96% decrease in activity compared to the pre-war baseline of around 130 daily transits through the Strait of Hormuz. So something's not adding up. How can there be a relief rally based on world peace if there's actually no world peace? Which raises the question, what really moved the markets? And the answer is, a good old-fashioned short squeeze, and I can prove it. But for this to make sense, we first need to
Really?
explain the underlying mechanics of a short squeeze, because when you short a stock, you're borrowing shares from someone and selling them. You're betting the price drops so you can buy them back cheaper at a later date, return them, and profit the spread. But if the price goes up instead, you're f***ed because you still have to return those shares you borrowed, which means you have to buy them back at a higher price than you sold them at. And if the price keeps rising, your losses keep growing. And at some point, your broker may send you a margin call, which means you either add more money to your account or you close the position immediately. And when enough people get margin calls at the same time, they all have to buy back their shares. That buying pushes the price up, which triggers more margin calls, which triggers more buying, and that's a short squeeze. And on April 8th, when the macro short exposure was at the highest level since 2020, the squeeze began. But the squeeze was only the first domino to fall, because once stocks started ripping, the algorithms kicked in. And this is where the CTAs, or commodity trading advisors, enter the story.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh yeah! I ran that.
These are systematic trading firms that run on rules-based models. They don't care about news. They don't care about geopolitics. They just follow trends. When the trend is down, their algorithms say short. When the trend is up, their algorithms say long. It's mechanical trading. Goldman reported that CTAs were sitting on about a 30 billion net short position going into the ceasefire. But the second the S&P crossed certain trigger levels, these models flipped. And they didn't flip to neutral. They flipped to go long. Goldman originally estimated these CTAs would need to buy back around $40 billion of equities to exit their short positions. But the actual number ended up being $86 billion across just 5 trading sessions, which, according to Goldman's records, is a top 5 buying speed print of all time. And then there was the third domino to fall, the options market. Dealers on the other side of options trades have to stay delta neutral, which means when customers pile into calls, dealers hedge by buying the underlying stock. And Spot Gamma, a leading financial data platform, had flagged a negative gamma regime heading into the ceasefire. That's the regime where dealer hedging flips from stabilizing to pro-cyclical. Price goes up, dealers buy more, price goes up more. You get the point. So a squeeze, plus a systematic flip, plus dealer hedging. 3 dominoes, all falling one after another. That's the rally. That's what we saw. And here's the funny thing. This isn't the
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
first time we've watched this movie. It's a very similar pattern that has played out again and again over the last decade. Because go back to December 2018, stocks had been crashing for months on fears of a rate hike. Then Jerome Powell goes on stage and says one word, patient, and the Dow explodes. It was the first time the Dow had ever gained more than 1,000 points in a single trading session. Or we can go to August 2024, when the Bank of Japan hiked rates for the first time in 17 years. The yen carry trade began to unwind, which I've made a video about. Then the Nikkei drops 12% in a day, then bounces 10% the next. These are all different catalysts, but the same mechanisms. And the reason this keeps happening is that the structure of the stock market itself has changed. 20 years ago, the market was dominated by humans. Portfolio managers reading earnings reports, analysts modeling cash flows, people making discretionary decisions about what companies were actually worth. But now, that market is basically gone. Today, 63% of all US stock funds are now held by passive indexers. That's more than $13 trillion of blind money that doesn't read earnings reports or care if Apple had a good quarter. It just follows the index on autopilot. And because most passive funds are market cap weighted, the bigger a company gets, the more of it they buy, which is how the Magnificent Seven now makes up over 33% of the S&P 500. So a massive chunk of the market isn't being priced anymore. It's receiving allocation on default. And what's left of the active investing side has also changed. The hedge fund industry has consolidated into a handful of giant multi-strategy funds that dominate the industry. the Millenniums, the Citadels, and the
Where was my
0.7
green?
Vault and P500. So a massive chunk of the market isn't being priced anymore. It's receiving allocation on default, and what's left of the active investing side has also changed. The hedge fund industry has consolidated into a handful of giant multi-strategy funds that dominate the industry. The Millenniums, the Citadels, and the 0.72s of the world, and their assets under management have grown exponentially over the last decade. These funds typically run at 4 to 8 times leverage with strict drawdown rules, which means when they hit a drawdown limit, they don't sit in a conference room and debate whether the Fed is going to cut or whether the war is really over. They sell immediately. And underneath all of this is the options market. Because now, same-day expiration options make up around 63% of all SPX trading. On peak days, we're seeing over $2 trillion of notional value change hands in a single trading session. Every one of those options forces a dealer on the other side to hedge in real time, which leads to buying or selling the underlying stock to keep their books balanced. So the dominant players in 2026 aren't analyzing valuations or fundamentals, they're reacting, and when price moves, their reactions stack on top of each other. And this is what happened on April 8th. Once you understand this, once you understand the mechanics behind why markets are irrational, everything starts to make a little more sense. So if you're tired of watching traditional financial media hand you the dumbed-down version of what's happening in markets, hit subscribe, because this is the stuff they conveniently forget to cover. Because the stock market we all used to know and love, the one about finding undervalued companies and investing in them for the long term,
is replaced by megachurch and the threadguy fucking stream, baby. Welcome to the fucking show.
That stock market is gone. What's left is a giant feedback loop of algorithms, passive funds, and options dealers, all reacting to each other in real time. And the headlines? Well, they're just the narratives people use to help rationalize things.
Welcome to the fucking
global reserves
show. I don't know. It was kind of a cool thesis. I don't hate it, I guess. Like, I don't know. Is that also why, like, Korean stocks are at all-time highs and crypto is breaking out? I don't know. But, also, like, how do you track that and repeat that in the future? I don't know. Kind of a cool thesis, though. Whatever. We'll take what we could get. Now, that leaves us with 12 minutes and me with a very overweight crypto long position, which is crazy to say out loud. How does that sound coming out of my mouth? Pause. That's crazy. It feels, yeah, it feels unbelievable to say. Let me make sure Mando's good. It feels unbelievable to say. So I will save a lot of our, like, we'll do Jimmy after. I thought I was going to get through so much more than I have actually gotten through. And I would like to give you a crypto thesis if you would like to hear my crypto thesis, chat. It's going to be underwhelming, I think, but it's going to be fun. You hit HIP4 trade, right? No. I do have a thesis. You might not love it. Okay, this is the tweet, and we'll go off of this. So I tweeted the other day, and I said, yeah, he said crypto biblet. Yes, the fuck he did. I said, if the market pumped this hard into fake ceasefire announcements, imagine what happens when it's real. Okay. My crypto thesis right now is I think 3 of the best long exposure assets in all markets right now is Bitcoin, Zcash, and Hyperliquid. And I'll start this by saying I am extremely depressed about crypto as an asset class. I just am. I don't know what to tell you. On chain, I'm depressed. Meme coins, I'm depressed. NFTs, I'm depressed. Everything that I knew and loved and cared about as it relates to crypto is just not the same. You can't look at crypto right now and feel the same level of spark and excitement and optimism that you felt about it 2 years ago. You just can't. I'm sorry. And I don't know if that will ever come back. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't a couple spots in crypto that have proven themselves as certified, undeniable winners that can reflexively pump really, really hard. And so the problem with you saying bear market right now is that the entire world, every asset class, risk on, risk off, risk everything, is in a turbo bull market. That's the problem. And so you could say crypto bear market, but everything else in the world is in a bull market. So it invalidates crypto being in a bear. It actually makes it worse by saying that. So I would just not say that for the sake of the industry. I would not say bear market crypto because it actually makes it worse. But here's where I'm at with crypto. Is I think there's 3 spots in crypto that make themselves like undeniable, just potential slams. Okay. And I think to start is you have to look at everything else across all markets. You look at everything else across all markets, and you have to start with the S&P 500 looking like this. And emphatic, it's my new favorite word, emphatic all-time high, up like 15% off the lows. All-time high, broke out of an 8-month consolidation and just rips at a level we have not seen in a while. Then you look at Korean stocks, and you get this chart. And then you look at the semiconductor ETF, and you get this chart. And then you go every individual sector at the biggest companies in the world, and you look at Amazon, and you look at Nvidia, and you look at Google, and you look at Micron, and you look at AMD, and you look at the Qs, and then you go further out on the risk curve into Serenity stocks, and you look at Sive, and you look at LPK, and you look at AXT, and you look at Light, and you look at all of these names, and it's hard to even fully process exactly what has happened here. ARM, you look everywhere across every sector at everything, and you just see all-time high after all-time high after all-time high, okay? And you see infinite money flowing through the system. Infinite money. It's all at all-time highs at the same time. Also, chart doesn't look amazing, but you see what gold did, and you see what silver did. And I think the only thing you can conduct from this is that on 1010, crypto like structurally broke, and we would be way higher if that didn't happen, but it did happen, and there's no reason to cope about it. And so it basically leaves us as the only asset class that is doing absolutely nothing in the midst of a ridiculous bull run. Everywhere, every sector, everything, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. But the problem with crypto not moving is that there are a couple sectors of crypto, there's a couple assets that should be moving that are really good coins and are really cheap relative to what's happening. Because you watch what's happening in stocks right now, and it's like the index, basically people are going further and further and further and further out onto the risk curve. And now we're pumping like Serenity Photonics, like pump and dumps at like $5 billion. We're going cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Pump more, pump further out. Space stocks here. We're going further and further and further and further and further out. And so I look at crypto, the only asset class that hasn't pumped. And you show me this chart on Bitcoin as what I still believe to be the best risk asset in the world, with Michael Saylor and Stretch having access to this new money printer that he hasn't had access to in a long time, with Stretch outstanding shares going up only, Saylor buying power going up only, value of Bitcoin amongst geopolitical unrest going up only, and a chart that's been largely cleared out. And you just think to yourself, a move to this yellow line 97 would take fucking nothing. Okay, Bitcoin's worth $1.6 trillion. Google added $500 billion in one session, bro. That would be Bitcoin to 100 plus tomorrow. In one session, Google did that. Then you look at this, which is the one that I decided along. And I think Zcash is super unique for two reasons. One, the chart looks fucking incredible. But second is Zcash and Monero. I don't hold any XMR, but Zcash and Monero basically fill out a sector that nobody else can compete with. It's like private money, actual private money that nobody else can compete with. And you look at Zcash and you scroll down in this thing and it's worth $8 billion. And you look at this chart and you look at big tech and these like AI bottlenecks and how everyone's going further and further and further out on the risk curve. And I just got myself so fucking bulled up on Zcash. It was not even funny. And so you know how I trade is feelers, and I want to add strength on the way up. And so I just started adding and 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 added. And now at 415, I have maybe I'm too overweight. I basically have half my perps book in Zcash on a lot of leverage at 390 or something like this, 380, 385. And I look at these names and just think to myself, dude, the market is everything's at all-time highs. I'm looking at Korean stocks. New Korean stock comes on the market, circuit breaker up, circuit breaker up, circuit breaker up. And the whole thing that gets me excited about crypto is that there's 3 things to buy. I mean, you look at like coin market cap, it's all slop, bro. XRP, BNB, Solana, respectfully, Tron, Dogecoin, like Cardano, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, Canton, Stellar, World Liberty Fi, Litecoin, Toncoin, AVAX, Athena, fine, Athena's cool, HBAR, Sui, bro, Shiba Inu, Tau, it's just like Kronos, Mantle, Uniswap. I mean, you look at this and Asters, like Pi, you look at this and think to yourself, there's literally nothing to buy. There is nothing to buy. Okay. And so you look at Bitcoin, you get to Zcash, and then you get to Hyperliquid. And Hyperliquid perps, in my opinion, has just every single time solidified itself as the most obvious superior. I mean, I just like, it's funny when Aster came out, the whole bit was I miss Aster because I didn't know how to trade perps. Since then, I've done like $50 million of volume, $60 million of volume on Hyperliquid, and the only thing that I've done is trade perps. And it's just the greatest financial vehicle ever. It's just the greatest financial vehicle ever. And the only thing you could buy for it is Hyperliquid. And so the Robinhood target, Hyperliquid is like what, 40B FTV? Robinhood is 65 maybe? 69. I mean, this has a fucking like target on it. I mean, this is like a sniper rifle Hyperliquid coming for this chart. This is coming. I mean, this is coming for at least Robinhood in a fucking snap of a finger. It is harder to use. It has a lot of problems, but it's coming for it. And so I'm pretty depressed about crypto. And I think there's a lot of reasons to hate crypto. And I think there's a lot of reasons to like not pay that much attention to most things in crypto. But nothing, it hasn't moved. And every asset class is just at all-time highs. Everywhere you look except for crypto. And so it is a little bit cope in the sense that I hated the meta rotation thesis, right? Like everyone's going to get rich on gold and then they're going to buy Bitcoin. That to me was a weak thesis. A better thesis is that everybody got rich on everything. And now everything is pumped so hard that there's nothing low enough and enticing enough to bid, except for crypto. These AI guys are up so much. I mean, bro, Bubble Boy told us he's up $8 million year to date. He's up 10 million. He's up like almost $10 million in 4 months on one stock on Intel. These AI guys are up so much fucking money, and they're doing it. They're going further out and 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 further out. And then look at the parallels. You look at Pokemon cards. Woo! Massive blow off top. Everywhere you look is blow off top, and then you have crypto just sitting here while Michael Saylor prints stretch shares and just twops Bitcoin with millions of dollars and an actual valuable bottleneck privacy as a combined market cap between Monero and Zcash of like 20 Bs. And so I just like sat down and I looked at Zcash at 350. I looked at the rest of the market. I looked at oil and I just said to myself, I recalled the Jeff Bezos quote, right? If you have 10% chance to make 100x, you take it every time. And I just said to myself, I don't know. Sometimes you just have to fucking jam. It's a rare spot. It's a rare spot where you have the overhang of crypto hasn't moved at all. You have everyone being rich. Crypto hasn't moved at all. Market caps are really low, and then you have the war overhang. That's why there's some real edge here. Is like if you're fading war to go long, there's definitely some delta there. Now you might be wrong, and you might get fucking rolled over and thrown on your back and spit out and fucking touched weird, but there's some delta there, right? Because a lot of people are definitely afraid watching oil, and so if you like chop through that and you chop through the crypto thing, you get to a spot where you're like, all right, what is my odds on like doubling my book here? It's pretty decent. RR. And so I definitely took a stab. Now it's a ball tingle type of thesis, and I might flip on a dime and be out of it tomorrow. So good luck. I hope you don't tail me because I'm not one to be tailed. But I don't know. I'm just like, it happened so fast too. I was like on a walk. I was walking around and I was like just like walking outside and just like listening to music, whatever. And then I don't know, I just like I have to jam. I just like I have to jam. I have to jam. And I just did. I don't know. I just did. Slowly and at levels. But I don't know. You just sometimes you just do it. You just fucking do it. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'll stop, break even, whatever. But private Bitcoin's worth $7 billion. It's just like I don't know. I'm not trying to like convince anyone else to get bullish, and I could just sell it all right now. Take 30% and walk away and pretend this conversation never happened. But sometimes you feel it. So that's my crypto thesis. Now, it's not a very optimistic one because it's basically like everything's up so much and crypto is so shitty that it should go up in just a couple spots. It's not the most optimistic thesis ever, but I think there's 3 coins that will do very well. And that's where I'm at. So that's my crypto thesis. Other than that, I'm pretty doomer about crypto at the moment, but I think a couple spots. Over how long do you see it playing out? I convinced myself that this might just go and I don't know. I convinced myself that this could just go up in a straight. I convinced myself this could happen like tomorrow. I don't know. It's up from 190 to like 400 in like 3 weeks. I convinced myself it could happen like tomorrow. And so that's why I played it the way I played it. I don't really have a timeline, and if it starts trading weak, I'm out. I'm running for the hills. I'm trading cautious. I'm trading aggressively cautiously right now. Is how I've been making money. So, anyways, on that note, we have one of my favorite guests of all time, great friend of the stream, and someone that's been trading incredibly well. Binked the SK Hynix and the SK trade very well, and I think is always on the money with crypto. Also, sorry my thoughts are so scattered and messy. I'm sick as fuck. So give me a break. But Mando's coming on right now. I'll be back in 30 seconds. When I do, we have Mando on. It's going to be a banger. Let's get it. I'm gonna lamb truck. Who's stopping me? All right, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter and you'd like to chat, I don't read the chat anywhere else. I don't even sure if there is a Twitter chat. Twitch.tv/threadguy. Mando's coming on. I've been buying this whole time. This is when you buy. When TG is saying crypto is doomed, it's buying. I just told you I full ported crypto, and you're you're retarded. I'm gonna put a little cough drop in. But I told you I'm full ported crypto. Not quite. When the right guy's bearish, that's when we buy. What percent of port allocated? 33% of my net worth is in Bitcoin, and then out of the other 66%, half of it's in Zcash. The rest of cash. All right, Mando on the stream. YouTube, Twitter, you want chat? Twitch.tv/threadguy. Let me give him. Oh, am I already in this thing? Oh, I am already in here. Oh, no fucking way. Yo, what's up, man?
Oh,
You've
I'm good.
You've been listening to me this whole time.
I know. I have you. Yeah, there was a little bit of an intro. I hear you've been sick.
Yeah, I'm
So
fucking.
I just came back from a run, so I look dehydrated as fuck. But
No, you look good, man.
I'm good to go.
How many miles? 5K or what'd you do?
It's about 8K. 8K.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome,
I'm still
man.
running, staying healthy. You know.
Good for you, dude.
I'm refusing to become an unk.
Yeah, well, some things you can't control, you know. But welcome back to the stream, dude. You've been active in the chat recently.
I enjoy it. I normally finish not finish work, but I'm normally working late, and I turn it on, and yeah, I really like the streams. I think you're doing a really good job with them. Like you said, everyone's learning as you get people on, and I think you caught the rotations well, like even in asset classes. So kind of going into certain different stocks, and then maybe the rotation back to crypto now is well timed as well.
It's okay. It's first of all, thank you. Second of all, it's an interesting one. I mean, I'll say this: like, I am attracted to your trading style. I think I've taken some tips from you, and on the war specifically, I feel like you faded the war very hard the whole time, which has been the obvious play here. But today things got a little bit scary.
Yeah, maybe. Depends what you're long, right? It really does depend what you're long. Like if you're long South Korean stocks, then yeah, like the war starts again. That's maybe not the best scenario to be in. But it feels as though everything else is it feels like it's going to be okay. Like it feels, I think when I last came on the stream, I was like, bears were starting to sound way too smart. And you just know that's when it's time to go long again. To be honest, I didn't really get long crypto though. This whole move from 70K up to 80K wasn't really one where I was like big in crypto. I owned Hype.
Well, it wasn't too
Hype
exciting, to be fair. The Bitcoin move wasn't super inspiring at any point.
Yeah, and Hype kind of moved early and then just stayed around like 41 for a month. So like my crypto longs haven't actually been that good, but my kind of macro longs have been doing well. And I like what you said, like buying Zcash. This is what I would look for too. Like it looks like it's broken out, nice little. Everyone's talking about it. I think it's a good. I don't own it, but it's the sort of thing that I would look at for sure.
Well, I hate the thesis of crypto. Like I hated the metals to crypto, to the gold to Bitcoin rotation thesis a couple months ago on everyone made so much money on gold, they're just going to buy Bitcoin for absolutely no reason. It was weak. It was obvious cope. But I feel now, if you look at it and you look at how aggressively everything is pumped since the start of April, and then you start to see high beta stuff go, right? Like, see like the Serenity, Photonics, low cap stuff getting fucking candled. And then, I mean, you see the South Korea index trade like it's trading. And I get the feeling of, okay, people are looking to go further out, more reflexive, and just start slamming shit. And so crypto, there's like three things to buy, right? I mean, what else do you buy? Maybe Monero for Bitcoin, Zcash, Hyperliquid. That's basically it, with a combined market cap of nothing.
That's probably, I mean, you probably see it on this show. You have to remember it's all the same people. The same people that are buying Serenity's coins were buying Ansom's, Serenity stock were buying Ansom's coins 2 years ago, right? It's exactly the same people. There may be some like moral superiority around like stock trading to crypto trading, or maybe even vice versa, but it is just that same group of men who are looking for a 10x, and exactly the same sort of pump and dump stuff will happen in these micro caps. You can already see it starting to happen a little bit with what happened like with that Photonics stock last week, right? Dodgy practices and like people all in on this sort of stuff. Like you can tell people are just here to make as much money as possible. But I think you're seeing a merging of all these sorts of investors in the infrastructure too, with Hyperliquid. You have interactive brokers now allowing you to trade Korea stocks. So everyone, like, did you see the Korea option call option volume? It just went.
Also, what was that? The IPO yesterday, circuit breaker instantly.
Yeah, so I mean, Korea stocks have a 30% circuit breaker on them, so it's kind of common to hit circuit breakers.
What about US?
It depends on the index. Often they'll have a volatility stop. Like if it's unclear what's caused it, there'll be a volatility stop. But the breakers are normally on an index level rather than on a single stock level, at least for a longer period of time. But Korea is something that I've been interested in for a long time. Like it's one of the trades that I had on since kind of last year when I went there. Which sounds kind of dumb because you kind of go there and you go. I literally like on the back of a trip of a holiday. I decided to go long that, but that was a slightly different. When I went there, it was just slightly different. I was just like, wow, this is going to be kind of an interesting country to be long thematically. But
so you went to Korea and you bought the index after that?
Yeah, no, I'm not the Citrini analyst number 3. There was the NFT Korea trip.
Right? Okay.
And then Korea Blockchain Week. So it was like a trip where I went there, and then I went to the Singapore Grand Prix afterwards. But Korea was like a really impressive place to go to. Have you ever been?
No, I've been to Japan, I've been to Hong Kong, but never been to Korea.
Yeah, so Korea, I mean, obviously people are Korean, so like I'm not going to act like I know so much about Korea. I've only been there a couple of times, but I was just super impressed by it when I went. Korea was basically destroyed, absolutely destroyed in the Korean War. Seoul itself got like taken over 3 times. In fact, the airport where you land in is basically like the place of their like D-Day landings when the US and the South Koreans took it back over. So Seoul was like destroyed, and you go there and it's amazing. Like every single building has been built within the last 70 years.
Whoa.
And you're just incredibly impressed as a city that they built it like this. And Korea was like destroyed during World War II. The other crazy thing I learned when I was out there was, so the atomic bombs that went off in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 50,000 Koreans died. Because when those bombs were dropped, Japan actually owned South Korea, or had invaded South Korea, and it had taken essentially like slave labor back to the industrial hubs of Japan. So when they dropped, actually, Korea was one of the most affected countries because 50,000, I think it's up to 70,000 actually.
Whoa.
If you include like, which people don't really know about, but like Korea was destroyed in World War II and then was destroyed straight afterwards as well. Like this was not a country that was in a great spot. It has barely any natural resources. So doesn't really have great agricultural resources or any energy resources. And you come to this place and they've just crushed it. Like highest IQ in the world of any country, some of the best education, one of the best education systems in the whole world.
And they can fucking gamble.
They obviously have a risk appetite. The way that they've built up the economy is slightly different in that Korean stocks have never really been that great a trade. They have like this conglomerate system. It's called the chaebol system, where each of the major corporations kind of own each other.
Okay.
Somebody was talking about, I think today, someone pitched me SK Square as a trade because they own SK Hynix, and this is very common.
SK Square owns like 20% of SK Hynix, right?
Right, but this is very common in Korea. So like all the chaebols own each other via quite strange structures, often like indirect share ownership, and they've always traded at a massive discount because they barely ever pay dividends or do stock buybacks. These companies, and often the money is hoarded to kind of help another Chaebol's company if it ever gets into distress. So like in a PE ratio, the E is kind of a meme in that you never really get the earnings back. So like,
wait, this is gonna be a dumb question. I don't want to derail you, but like, how many of these U.S. companies are paying dividends?
not that many. There are certain there are certain tax benefits for dividends. So you have certain stocks which are like known as dividend stocks, but the vast majority of companies now do buybacks.
Okay, and they don't buy back in Korea?
No, this is the point.
Got
it. Korea traded like, so if China stocks traded, I don't know exactly, but let's say they trade in the low teens PE ratio, sometimes even lower. Korea stocks traded even below that. So like they were these incredible companies often, but stock ownership was always not that great in that you never really got buybacks, you never really got dividends. Minority shareholder interests were never really protected. It was always these chaebols that had control. But it's like this. Other than that, it's like this incredible country in this rebuild. They have a really bad birth ratio, but it is just like, wow, what they've done there over the last 70 years since that happened. And I started looking into it then, and I found all this stuff about why it was such a bad trade. But then they brought in all these reforms, and in fact so there's this whole AI trade going on right now, but the other big trade here is that South Korea, I believe last year, but definitely this year, now they brought in a set of laws which basically are trying to get rid of this Korea discount. So
like forcing buybacks or something?
Basically that, forcing dividends, forcing buybacks. Also, there was a weird thing where like directors in South Korea, they didn't actually report to shareholders. They reported to the company legally. So they didn't actually have to like make sure shareholders they didn't have a fiduciary duty like they do in the US. And they've changed that as well. And they've made it so that like the boards are the independent directors of the boards I think are a bit more independent. They're not just shams from these chaebols. So what's happened over the last year, and there was an election and the new party came in and basically said, we're going to do all this. And this has happened at the same time as this incredible moment for South Korea where like they're in the epicenter of this memory trade, right? But both of them are happening at the same time. So, and South Korea stocks still trade at below or around single digits PE
like
ratios.
4 PE, right? Is the index?
Some of the top ones. So like the main index is actually basically Samsung and SK Hynix now. It's like over 50% is those two. And if you look at them on forward PE ratio, they are ridiculous. They're like 4 to 5 times. I think probably 5 times the moves over the last few days. But this is a broader trade, Korea, in that you suddenly got this great AI trade where they basically own 90 to 95% of the market share of memory. And you have this trade around governance changing. And the index has basically tripled. And I think Japan tried to do something like this as well. And this is what was basically seen as Abenomics when Shinzo Abe was the prime minister of Japan. And they saw a huge gain in the stock market during that period. So they tried to kind of catch up in a similar sort of way. So, and if you look at it versus US stocks trade at like 25.
Nvidia's like 25, 30, and it's like people are like laughing at how low it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, US stocks, if you look at it on PE ratios, particularly forward PE ratios of the hyperscalers, they're not that stretched. Like Google's the one I really like, and it really depends, right? Because you have to believe in their forward earnings earnings, but it's kind of around 20 or less than 20. I think it's like 18 for Google. So this is not that stretch. But Korea, some of these PE ratios are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. Now, if you believe that these changes around governance are going to happen and they're going to start doing buybacks and dividends, which is like the law is now forcing them to do that at the same time as they have this incredible memory market share, which feels like a structural bid rather than a cyclical bid. It all kind of came together at the same time. Now, I got involved because I liked the governance angle, and I was like, I just, I want to be long the highest IQ country in the world. If that's happening, like long high IQ, this feels like a good trade. But the main risk for this trade is probably something like the Strait of Hormuz happening, though. Like the other thing about like South Korea, which I said, is they have barely any resources. So they basically import all of their food, all of their energy, tons of their rare earths, so they are very, very intertwined with the global economy. And when Hormuz happened, like if you look at it
got destroyed a couple of days.
It did get destroyed. And South Korea kind of plays the field slightly in that it is aligned with the US on like defense, and I think it now is getting a lot of its energy now, or shifting some of its energy to the US. But it's still, China is right there.
China's right there.
Right, and like 20%, I think, of its exports still go to China, and you're there, and you can kind of tell they're playing both sides. Like they don't really,
because they have to, right?
Well, geographically, they kind of have to with where they are. They're not like Taiwan, but they do have to kind of play both sides. But and the US is starting to force certain things on the South Koreans with the CHIPS Act. So it's they are still a little bit beholden to their like major allies, but it is still this incredible trade. But yeah, if Hormuz was to actually flare up again, I think there was happened a couple months ago where it suddenly turned out that like everyone needed helium. Everyone needed helium, including South Korea, and like all of it came from Qatar. And suddenly there was just like, oh my God, there's going to be this bottleneck. And South Korea is a little bit like that. It's very dependent on everyone else. So if you were to see this massive flare up in Iran again, then I think that would be the main risk to that trade. Other than that, I think it's one of the best macro trades out there. I think it's one of these ones you can just own for a long, long time, and I think it's going to perform.
The war thing was it's crazy because I've never traded war before. It was just scary enough to think, man, maybe Trump is going to destroy Carg Island, and maybe we are really gonna maybe this whole thing really is gonna blow up, and convinced everybody to get bearish at the lows, and then they just rip it back to ATH. And so like the South Korea trade, which has been like the best trade, was the scariest long at the bottom because it's so reliant on energy. Strait of Hormuz is closed. They import all their oil, whatever. It was like the scariest thing to bid. It's crazy how that works.
Yeah, 100%. Like the intricacies of the whole AI trade basically happens in Taiwan and South Korea. Like they've built whole industries around it. And this is why it's really difficult to replicate. This is why memory and some of this chip stuff is really inelastic, because it is unbelievable amounts of companies that are all together in a very small area, all producing these chips or memory. And but it's very dependent on one of these things, on external resources, particularly South Korea. So when this happens, that was the trade to buy. I didn't buy it during that period. In fact, I only really bought it on the memory trade when I started to see the move in Micron happen, and then I was like, well, this could still be the trade. I don't know now. Like it feels as though they probably are. They're hoping to try and diversify their energy. The main thing is energy. So like I think they're starting up a couple of nuclear plants again, or trying to restart them. And like I said, I think they're now trying to get more of their supply from the US or like the other side of Saudi Arabia ports. But it is that's an interesting one. But I don't the war stuff. It feels like everyone's just, this is gonna be okay now.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you a different question, but let's talk about war for a second. I paid way too much attention, got kind of doomer about it, made some money on oil, and when you make some money being a bear, you like ruins your life. Basically, it's like if you're a really bad shooter makes 1 3-pointer and then they think they're fucking Steph Curry. That's what happened with me in oil, and I convinced myself to get bearish. And the play the whole time for the last 2 months has basically been fade every escalation and stay long. And Trump has basically shown an incredible ability to juggle escalating in Iran and keeping stocks up. And so until he loses that, which I thought he would have lost it, 15 tacos ago, I don't know why you would just fade escalation, not just stay long. That's what I'm doing right now. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm watching oil go up. Yeah, it's scary, but like, if it gets scary enough, if bonds pump enough, he's just going to rip the same headline that's dumped it 15 times already, right?
Yeah, I think when I came on here, I kind of said I think the US has got the majority of the cards here still. Like, the US has energy independence. It clearly just took over basically Venezuela's oil fields as well, and it looks like it's going to make place for other energy infrastructure. So I feel as though the US can kind of still control this somewhat. They just need to dampen the rhetoric from the other side. There is a case here where you end up with like a really positive scenario at the end, right? Where Iran, the sanctions get dropped, and suddenly there is peace in that region. And, Trump is now the favorite to win the Nobel Peace Prize this year, which basically implies that people think there's going to be some sort of a holistic peace deal by the end of this year. That would be interesting. So, like, if you play it through, and then who knows what happens to stocks in that sort of scenario, because it feels as though the other thing that's really become more of a popular view is that I think you read a thematic piece, maybe it was a few shows ago, where that guy was like, the Nasdaq's going to triple over the next 2 or 3 years.
Chumba. QQQ.
Right. And it is this, right, actually, the benefits of AI here are just going to go to companies. They're going to cut workforce, margins are going to go higher, and there's going to be a select number of companies that just go parabolic in this move. And I think that is becoming a very, very attractive narrative suddenly. So as long as everything else calms down, that feels like something that people are going to chase after. And we're also in this world where like everyone is moving to doing this, like chasing these sort of stocks, even in crypto. So you can just kind of feel like this is what everyone is looking for in terms of the trade. So I think you can chase these.
The Q's triple narrative is a fun one because it's like, or just the thesis that he wrote is like, in order to have the biggest bubble of all time, you have a bunch of the fastest growing companies ever that are convinced that they're building God, and their other ones are convinced if they don't build God first, they lose. And so you have this just like infinite capex spend. The other thing I didn't, I'm so fried. I've only ever really traded crypto, and so I didn't realize how incredible of a bubble the infinite twop of passive flows into like the US stock market is. And there's this guy, was it Michael Green, talks about this a lot. It's like basically every American in the world puts like half of their earnings into the S&P forever, every week, forever, and never sells for like 40 years. And $1 of cash does not equal $1 in market cap. It equals a lot more. It equals more like $100 in market cap. And so a lot of these stocks are like low float, high FDV as well on infinite scale, right?
Yeah, I think Americans maybe don't understand how unique this is. So if you were to look at European stocks or UK stocks, they actually went sideways for about 20 years.
Whoa.
If you bring up the Euro stocks, let me just have a look. Euro stocks 600, and you go all time on this thing. So this hit a high in 2000, and I think it was like 2000 even, and didn't actually break out of an all-time high until like 2021. And that was the same for the FTSE, and tons of countries which are just not the US. There is just not the same sort of, and like imagine you own Japanese stocks or South Korean stocks. They did very similar sort of things. Like this is kind of crazy that the US has this incredible belief in the stock market, and it attracts international capital too. So like, yeah, it's very tough to just not be long.
What as it relates to South Korea, what are you long and like how have you played it? And how much of your port?
Yeah, so I was mainly long Samsung and the Kospi or the index, the ETF, basically, the EWYX index, basically, which I just felt was because my trade wasn't just the memory trade when I first started. It was actually the governance trade more than the memory trade, and then Samsung was the obvious trade here, right? That was always been a huge bit of the index. SK Hynix has only just become a huge bit of the index.
Yes.
But now, if you're long the South Korean index, you're basically long those two stocks. Like you're in the memory trade, the memory trade is like an interesting one because it's kind of in terms of this kind of ramp up, it often does end in like a collapse and people realize that supply has outstripped demand, but this time does feel slightly different. Supply is still relatively inelastic. Like those three big ones, so Micron, SK Hynix, Samsung, they are all building new fabs in the US and in South Korea now, but it feels like that's still going to be like a 2028.
They're also aren't all these fabs they're
thing.
booked out like for indefinitely, right? Like Intel's getting this everyone's booked out indefinitely on chip distribution, yeah.
So I think there's like two different types of orders. There's like soft orders and there's like hard orders. And I think the hard orders really go to like 2028, and then there's people who are often, I think they're kind of almost helping fund the fabs and like getting in the front of the queue for orders then, but they're slightly softer in those orders. So I think when people say we're booked out till 2030, I wouldn't necessarily think that this is like, oh, this is just the most obvious thing to long. And traditionally, these sort of memory or these sort of chip trades has often been very boom bust. Like there's been lots of times over the last 20, 30 years where that has happened, and suddenly supply just ramps up and everyone realizes they don't need the demand's just not quite there. So it is something that people are wary of, just being like, it's an infinite bid. It's like when you look at the
I see.
that's why you look at the forward PE ratios of these companies and they're like, oh my God, this is insane. But you never really know what that's going to be like in 3 years, because suddenly they'll increase supply and maybe the demand for data centers isn't there. This time does feel different, but they've said that before, and I think you can get like screwed. So the memory trade is not just like an unbelievable, they're never going to be able to get more memory. They are, and you better hope that demand continues. I quite like the uranium trade, for example. I've been in that trade a lot.
What do you in?
That one's easiest just to be in the index, if I'm honest, or like the ETF, URA,
global uranium ETF.
So my three macro trades have basically been South Korea, uranium,
and Google,
and then I was in gold, and then I cut it when it basically broke down.
Oh, the uranium thing looks pretty good.
Yeah, so uranium has been this like widowmaker of a trade, I think, for the last 20 years.
What do you like perform on your port year over year? Like what? Yeah. Like, dude, Jack with the Market Wizards guy is doing a new book is coming out. You're just in every good coin. You give me confidence that I can just print as a retail trader in every good coin, because you're in every good coin. I feel like I'm in every good coin. You're in every good coin. You were talking about Google like 6 months ago in October on the show. You're talking about Google.
Right, but Google was breaking out to new all-time highs at that time.
What do you return on your port every year?
I only look at things in all time. I mean, I don't track it like that, but it's been a good time for me in trading since I quit my TradFi job. It's been good.
And what did you do in TradFi?
I traded high yield credit and distressed credit. So companies that are basically about to default. So you get to learn about like balance sheets a lot.
And do you still do that at all?
No. In fact, I do the opposite. which is I only look at things breaking out to all-time highs in like some parabolic trade.
So did you get like radicalized trading garbage?
Basically, yeah. You basically trade garbage, and you realize a lot of things get saved, and there is some huge money to be made. Like some of the best hedge funds in the world are distressed hedge funds, and they basically take over these companies, and then they restructure them, and then they make gazillions out of it. So you have like some of the smartest people in the whole world are these credit traders, and then you have before high frequency trading, before Jane Street, all the best hedge funds were these credit funds.
So like, is someone plotting on Spirit Airlines right now?
Right, that would be the exact thing. Spirit, I don't know if you'd buy Spirit, but it's that sort of thing. You're looking for a company that looks like it's in the shitter, and then you try and do something smart with it, basically. But this is not what I do. Like now, I just look at stuff which is breaking out to all-time highs, and then suddenly you look like a genius, because once something breaks out to all-time highs, like who knows where it's going? Like who knows?
Fun. So what do you like? How do you size these things? Like you see Google approaching ATH. Like, are you buying spot? Are you trading perps? Like, how are you entering?
Mainly perps. Mainly perps is what I've been trading.
Do you just keep buying higher, or what do you do?
I use grid bots recently. For the last year and a half, I've used grid bots, and it's been very, very good. So you trade the volatility. Often when I tend to find that something is breaking out to all-time highs, the volatility also increases. So like you're dying for a day where, let's say, South Korea stocks go down 10%. And you tend to find that when it like breaks out to all-time highs, that you get these like huge wicks, and you're liquidating on both sides, because everyone's like doing zero-day options and all this sort of shit. So I tend to find that it's not only do you get to own the best things, you get to like trade the volatility. So it's basically like futures LPs of these things as they break out to all-time highs. That's been my most successful strategy now for the last year.
So high leverage is tough when these things. I was thinking about this the other day. Like I've been doing mostly only trading perps the last 6 months. I've never really done like leverage math. Like I sort of just like, okay, it feels like 3x trade, feels like a 4x trade. Like I just kind of like free dick it. Like, do you have like a sheet that you follow based off how much you're sizing, what leverage to put it on? Like, how do you approach that?
Yeah, I think I came on this show and said it before. Like over the last year, I've basically done a trade. I do a trade journal every trade. It's been again revolutionary, because the best thing about that is what you just said. You actually work out, right, what do you think is the upside here? What is your downside? Where would you cut it? And then you kind of know if it's worth it. Like there was a trade I was looking at the other day, which was, I was looking at ETH BTC. And ETH BTC was breaking down. It was like, right, I think Bitcoin's going to outperform ETH. That makes sense. Saylor's infinite bid, ETH, who knows? And I looked at it, and then it just didn't seem like there was enough juice in it. It was like, oh, if I'm right on this, maybe it moves like 20-30%. And I was just kind of like, well, that's not worth it. So it really also gives you a filter of, right, what is actually going to be like a 5x? Like what is a trade where it's breaking out to a level it's never seen before, and it's got this thematic often move behind it, where it's just like, right, this thing, once threadguy and the gang get behind it, like this thing's fucking going to the moon. Like, so that's what I look for. I look for that sort of stuff.
How do you are you solo? You have analysts or no?
No. Analysts.
How are you like tracking cross themes, cross market? There's just like since we started putting stock tickers on here every day, it's a little bit overwhelming. I'm like, there's so much to find entries on this stuff is difficult.
So good question, and I don't want to plug stuff that I do.
No, please
that
do.
much. But I did today. I basically now use AI to do this, but I basically created a newsletter called Trades I'm Looking At Today, and it goes across all the people that I follow, and then tracks all the trades that they're talking about, thematically across all asset classes. You'll see it on my Twitter if you go there. But I'm going to start doing this. I don't know if I'll do it every day, but I'm definitely going to do it every couple of days, or definitely every week. And then you don't miss a trade. You don't miss a trade on particularly across like stocks, commodities, and crypto. I agree. Like when I look at this, the things that I'm less drawn to right now are crypto because nothing's breaking out to all-time highs. Like even Zcash isn't at all-time highs yet. It's getting close. So maybe it's one to look at, but a lot of the stuff that's breaking out to all-time highs are obviously in the AI.
You know, I'm reading this book right now. It's called More Money Than God, and it's like you know what it is? Jack Malaby or something, and it's like a history of basically every hedge fund that dominated every decade. And in the 70s, there's this fund called Commodities Corp, and it started as this like hyper specialized one analyst per commodity, and it was like the first HFT, like math only based, quick entries, quick exits, and they kept blowing up. And they brought this guy in. His name was Michael Magnus, and he invented this strategy called he called it trend surfing, which is basically find a stock breaking out in all-time highs and fucking slam it. And these guys made so much money just slamming ATH breaks with a stop at ATH.
Yeah.
The whole strat, they made like billions of dollars in the 70s. Trend surfing, just slam ATH on everything. It doesn't even matter what it is. Honestly, the less you know, the better was a quote.
Yeah, look, honestly, you know what actually corrupted me? Because I come, and this is a personal story, so people might not give a shit, but I come from this distressed world where you're literally buying bottoms. Like you're sitting there going like, right, I'm going to buy this thing at 30 cents on the dollar, and I think it's going to go back to par, which is 100. The max trades often here is at 100, so it's not like your max is often like a 3 to 4x. Okay. And I remember I came into crypto, and I remember this Suzu quote, which is it was something along the lines of the most amount of money ever made has been about buying things breaking out to all-time highs. And I remember OSF sending it to me and just being like, we have just been in the wrong fucking industry. Like often credit trading is like protecting your downside, and here it's just about making sure you get as much fucking upside while protecting that downside. So I still have a stop loss on these things breaking out to all-time highs, but just filter. Like even something that looks like a bounce, like Zcash right now, I know it looks interesting, but it hasn't hit all-time highs.
It's still
yet.
bouncy. It's still a bounce. 100%.
And so, do you see what I mean? Like the resistance there will be its all-time highs, which is, I don't forget, Zcash is like 700.
700s.
Right. Which is a long way away, but it's less than a 2x now. And I look at some of this stuff and just go like, well, where's the offer? Like this stuff can just go up a long, long way. Like South Korea stocks just did a fucking 3x. Like, and they could easily keep on going. And the Google's just hit an all-time high. I think Google's going to be the most valuable company in the world. I think it's just going to smash. If there's one trade, which is a company is going to completely dominate the AI trade and everyone's going to lose their jobs, but companies going to benefit, Google's that. It could just keep on going. Like the company is an absolute fucking behemoth.
How do you sell all-time high breaks?
So that is the trick.
The hard part, right?
Yeah. So I have like a very set rule where it has to break through like a 4-hour trend and then a daily trend essentially. So you're never really selling at all-time highs. You're never selling at all-time highs. You're selling on a pretty steep reversal. So like you have to accept that you're never getting out of the top.
Got it. So you're giving back 20% to be like, okay, the trade's done. To not give up more further gains.
Exactly. You have to. So gold, I didn't get out at 5,500. I got out at like 5,050 or something like that. So you kind of give up, and I got in at the start of the year when it was like 4,200, 300. So like I could have been like, I could have made more on that breakout to all-time highs. But generally, I tend to find these are quite low-risk trades.
It was like a smooth trade, right? Up only, then you lose it and you're out.
Like they're kind of low risk. When you sit in these sort of trades, you kind of just go like, this is great. It's breaking out to all-time highs. Everyone's talking about my fucking trade. I have a ton of people that I know just want to get into it. And for it to me to get out, things have really got to shit has got to hit the fan. Like, and then I just have like a quite protective loss. So the great thing about being in these trades is that you just wake up and go like, oh, if it's a small drawdown, everyone's going to fucking buy this thing. And it's just going to keep going. When you first get into the trade, that's normally when it's the most dangerous though, because like there's often quite a lot of volatility. So you've got to be like, that's the most dangerous part of this strategy. Is like when you get into a trade just before it's about to hit all-time highs, or maybe minus 5-10%, and the volatility starts to pick up, and like
nasty.
it may hit your stop. So you've got to give it a bit more leeway right at the start. And the risky thing about that is sometimes it can be a double top, and then you get decimated. So
do you have like a confirmation, or you just fucking feels like it? I'm just going a little bit before ATH break, or what do you do?
Generally, that I like to think of a thematic reason why I'm in it as well. Like, okay, this is gonna go.
It's going
at the same
yeah.
time.
So did you trade Intel all-time high?
I didn't trade
That
Intel.
was a crazy
To be honest,
one.
my macro trade have been these three.
Yeah.
The Intel trade is just kind of a wild one, right? Just like came from just a government owning, and I like that trade. I like it now feels like the cronyism is back in certain bits of the US, and like 100%. People have been bullish on the rare earth trade for that reason in the US, and I've been looking at a few of those.
Hasn't done well though.
Rare earth or the cronyism?
Rare earth.
Yeah.
USAR?
Yeah, but I mean, rare earths makes it sound like they're that rare, and I don't think they're that rare.
Earths,
if you look at the supply inelasticity of these things, uranium is at a completely different end of the spectrum to rare earths, and memory somewhere in between. Let me put it that way. So like rare earths, actually, there's quite a lot of rare earths. And I think that supply will actually come online. So I actually think that's a bit more of a dangerous long-term trade to be in. It's more of the trade that the US just goes like, right, we're just going to go all in on only. This is your only supplier.
Yeah. How do you So how do you think about the buyback? You know, when you talk about the buybacks, and I saw there's this guy with Doug Colquhoun, I think is his name, published this really cool like academic paper. I didn't read it, but I skimmed it about how the best performing stocks are the ones that buy back the most, and the worst performing are the ones that dilute the most. And you think about a thing like Hyperliquid, market cap relative to Robinhood, and how much they buy back, and do some math, annualized on like what they would be buying back if they're making as much as Robinhood, and it's disgusting. Like, how much attention are you paying to the amount of buybacks these stocks are doing and should be doing, or are you just like you're trading charts more than that?
Yeah, so I would say that doesn't surprise me at all, given we're in crypto, and you kind of like think of all that's basically the unlocked trade versus the
same thing, right? Exactly.
Versus the buyback trade, and we've seen what happens to
every
something
time
that has unlocked versus buyback. So I do think that, and it could be really dangerous here. So like if you look at some of the SaaS stocks, basically for the last 2 decades, everyone has been paid in employee compensation of all these stock options, and there was just this idea that all these tech stocks are going to go up forever. And suddenly when the trend reverses on some of these tech stocks, like these SaaS companies do not buy the dip in SaaS, because now they have also all of this stock-based compensation coming in as well. I just think these trades suddenly have just turned, and you're suddenly buying you're like the Japanese soldier buying that altcoin that just looks like death versus Bitcoin over the last like 5 years. So I would be very, very wary on SaaS for that reason. It's interesting, like some of the big tech companies, they didn't even do buybacks, because they're spending so much on data centers right now, or on chips, that trade has somewhat slowed actually. So let's see what happens. But
that was a crazy take. The IGV looks kind of good right now.
Yeah, I would.
So
I would just be really.
You know what's
really
crazy?
wary.
Like the GameStop thing was interesting to me when I first saw it on Thursday. The eBay proposal. I'm like, oh, this is a fucking fun trade. But then it's like, they have like $8 billion in cash or whatever. eBay's $55 billion, and they're just gonna print stock. It's insane. You could do that. I like forget you could do that. Is there no limit to how much stock you can print?
No, however much the fucking market.
What does that even mean?
I mean, the slight difference here is that you're not just, there is a concept of value. Like, if you're buying another company, I thought that was ridiculous when I first started learning about stocks, but you are meant, that's kind of a probably from this crypto world where it's all vaporware. Like, you are meant to spend the stock to buy a company which gets you that higher earnings multiple. So that's why people allow yourself to get diluted to buy particularly to buy other companies or buy assets. So, but yeah, the dilution can be kind of wild.
So like if you're getting stock-based compensation as an employee at Adobe, they're just printing new stock to pay you, or they're pulling from the treasury, like treasury, whatever.
Yeah, they're just printing new stock to pay you.
And so as the stock goes down,
on,
your comp doesn't go down. They're just printing more stock.
Well, for years, people just didn't really even count this. And then now it's suddenly just like this is huge overhang of stock-based compensation.
Wow.
And this is kind of yeah, like I think that's why I just like SaaS. SaaS to me, like it's just the opposite of the trade that I look for. It's buying a dip because it looks cheap and there are sellers. I'm just like, yeah, maybe it bounces, but I'm not here to make 10 or 20 fucking %. And I'm not here to be like the guy, I caught the bottom. Catching the bottom is just trades you should just be allergic to, in my opinion. Like that is for the distressed hedge funds or the super smart people who know to value things. If you're just here to 10x your money, I think you've got to be buying breakouts and closing your eyes.
You also have to be way too smart to buy the Adobe bottom. I'm not smart enough to buy that. I don't have this like I think like Basic Z is one of these people that's really good at being in the best coin, and he did that thing with Snap, and I think it like drove him nuts. He like wrote this whole thesis about Snapchat and why it's like the coin. He get the article and he publishes it, and then like Spiegel comes out and just like doubles supply, and he's like, okay, yeah, this guy's retarded. It's like that's the other
thing. I think some of the smartest people in the world think that this is human nature, right? The thing is, you think it's a low risk trade.
Yeah.
Your mind tricks you into thinking it's a low risk trade. It's like, oh, it's down so much. How much can I lose? And you have to flip the switch, because then if you write down your trade journal, like, what am I expecting to go up to, and what am I expecting to go down? It's like, this doesn't seem that attractive, and then often it can just keep on going fucking lower. And
yeah, you get Figma. You get Figma, right? It just down only like, forever.
Threadguy's not pulling up fucking Snapchat when it breaks down to a new low. You need to be in the thing where everyone's looking at it, so that when it's a mind trick to buy bottoms. You need to buy things that are breaking out new all-time highs. The filter then is incredibly high. There's not that many assets often breaking out to your all-time highs. Or you can do it on index level. Like, I don't normally buy indexes, but I bought obviously the South Korea index, and that's been one. But I think you gotta trick yourself into just focusing on those things and ignoring everything else. Even if it's just like, this looks like a nice bounce. Bitcoin right now looks like a nice bounce, and you're drawn to it because it's like, oh, like, I've got to be involved, but
like whatever.
Maybe it goes to 90. That's a 10% move here. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, Google's up 10% intraday on Wednesday or whatever. That was a good take. Who gives a shit? Also, if you buy garbage, it's like, okay, you try to buy the bottom of Pump Fund, it doesn't go up, and now you have Pump Fund tokens. It's like, you fucking retard, Now you have to look at that shit in your wallet. Okay.
Right, and you have to write an essay on why everyone should buy Pump Fund. It's like,
and everyone thinks you're a complete idiot.
You get like 5 views, and then you just quietly sell it 2 weeks later. It's like, okay.
Okay, one of the last things I want to ask you is, you kind of touched on it with Europe and some of these Europe markets, but when is the last time like an emerging index like move like this? Like I know Druckenmiller published his 13F, and he was buying Brazil really hard. Now it feels like people are gonna, I don't know if maybe Korea is a very unique one. Obviously it is, but is this like fire into all these emerging markets? Is this like Korea is gonna go way higher? Like is this the thing that happens?
I've been in EM thematic trades like this before, and I've been to a lot of countries now. I've been to like 70 countries, and there's a lot of countries where you go there and you see a lot of potential, and often it's basically a commodities trade. Or you think, if I quit my job and I came out here and I built up a business, I reckon I could do it well. But investing in often emerging markets is a fucking shit show. You have the currency risk, you have political risk, the judiciary system in these places, like the corruption is often incredibly high, and they're just not got the enterprise skill often to, or like what I just described to you about. It takes a village, right, to build up the memory trade. Like it's not just you. It's not just like, oh, these guys are going to make it work. You need everything to come together. And I've been to India, Brazil, basically all of the BRICS now, apart from Russia, to be fair. And each one of them, you kind of come away from it being like, yeah, but like things have really got to come together in various different forms for this to work out. South Korea is one of the only countries I've been to where I was like, you know what, the only other country actually, which is a bit further down the spectrum where I felt like that could happen, was Vietnam. But definitely South Korea, I was felt like it could be a country that really emerges and becomes like a huge economy, just because of the way that the people were and how industrious they were, and it just felt like that was like a more industrial trade than the South Korea one. But South Korea, I came away from it just being like, this could really be it as a great trade, or great country just to be like long. But a lot of the other trades are really commodities trades.
Well, you know what the South Korea thing has, to your point, is it has it's not just a blind ATH break, it has the thematic, like, crazy bold. It has the thematic function as well.
Yeah, I think you can get lost in that slightly. Like one thing I would say about is that everyone kind of thinks they're a macro analyst as well. And I would say that I do think that these sort of these macro, I'm going to go long this country, can be like trades that you're in for a long time. Because like your thesis can be very different to what the rest of the world is, or thinks at that time. So I would say that I don't normally do this. I don't normally go in, because I've been in those trades before and they've just been, you're just in them for like months, years, and nothing happens, and your original thesis around them just doesn't really work out. Got it. South Korea really just felt like right time, right place to be long. And I think it is one just to keep on long, but you're really just long SK Hynix or Samsung. So if you just want to get long one of the stocks, SK Hynix is kind of like the Mag 7. Samsung's like the Mag 7. It's got a whole consumer electronics business. Memory is only about 50% of its business now. So you're kind of being long more of what I described to you before, where like the chaebols don't have as much control. SK Hynix is like, you're in the memory trade. They only do memory, and you better believe that there's not going to be oversupply.
I think that's a good take. I like that. Dude, this is sick. What else? You got anything else for us before you go? Anything else that we need to know?
No, I mean those are my
That was a pretty good
trades.
session.
I think I'm gonna stick to them. I've been looking. So uranium,
Pull Zcash up on your computer.
Google, and Zcash looks like, if I was to pick anything in crypto right now, and it's not like I have zero crypto exposure. I still have positions, but if I was to have anything, it would probably be Zcash.
You're right though on this bounce thing. Like you're really right on the bounce stuff. I find myself in this spot every time I do it. I'm like, What do you think about the trade? Like the short 3-day attention trade of HIMPS. That's something that I love to trade. Like headline comes out, but it isn't like an acquisition headline, or it isn't earnings, but some sort of like general headline, and then everybody is just slamming high beta, and so I just slam it early and get out. But I don't know if it's just fun and I like it, or it's just like, if it's fun and I like it, or if it's just a bad idea as a trade.
Yeah, so I feel like this kind of feels like the crypto trade as well. Like if HIMS rallied, you get that gut feeling where you're like, fuck, I should have been long it, or like, but actually the trade here, like it hit an all-time high right in December, and it was 50 or 60 or something like that. So now it's like a recovery trade. Like they're trying to build back this distribution business, and it may be an interesting one. I find it really difficult to play the peptide trade.
It's so hard.
One thing thematically I really want to get long.
What do you
but
buy?
The thing is, like,
those companies suck.
Right, and like they are like Eli Lilly. Like I'm not buying this thing because because other businesses that it does aren't going to work out as well. So then you kind of get involved in. I think there's Viking Therapeutics. That's one that I was looking at for a little bit. That's one that I think you can. But Hims is now in like the distribution bit of the business, which I don't know. Like, there's not that many pharmacies that make absolute bank. Like, you have to be Amazon to be good at that. And I don't know if Hims is going to be that. So
I sort of meant it on
Hims,
like not taking a long term, but sort of like playing the bounce, but only on the 3-day hype, similar to like City Sweeney does American Eagle, and American Eagle like rips for like 2 weeks, the mega church type of thing. Like, is that just like retarded way to trade? And I'm lucky more than I'm right.
No, I actually think that's not a bad way to trade. And like, you're very good at it. I've noticed that you're not afraid to pick up on something when you realize that you've seen it enough in your timeline and just own it, because you think you're late, but actually you're actually going to be early enough.
Yeah, early enough. You're going to be early enough, mid first leg kind of thing.
Early.
Yeah.
But you're not early enough, and that's enough often to just like catch the next 20-30% of the move. And I think you will definitely, doing this show, you'll pick up on that a lot. Hims, I've been telling Razman he needs to be the fucking.
I know he should.
This just fits him. Like, if you're gonna try and merge yourself into FinTwit, like, just be the Hims guy, right? Like, just be like, I don't care about the stock. Like, I don't care about where it fucking is. I'm all in. Yeah. I feel it really suits his brand. And I think actually Hims is one of those ones where it has probably the best chance of being one of these viral style stocks, just because of the whole.
When they get the Clav deal, we're long, right? When they get the Clav deal, we're obviously long.
But other than that, I think I think that as a theme is definitely going to be a big thing. But I just think that everyone is a neat now. Like, everyone is now just going to be trading stocks. Like, this is the way to make money, and I think we're going to see unbelievable highs in various different asset classes. Don't get yourself
everyone is trading stock. It's awesome. It's like the moves are so aggressive and focused that it really makes your ATH blast strategy work. Even it's self-reinforcing, right? The moves are so concentrated and focused.
Yeah, but honestly, once you make it sound like you have to constantly hit there's not that many things hitting all-time highs. Go through your actual list of things that you're looking at and look at what is a bounce and what is hitting all-time highs, and suddenly you'll realize it's actually just a few different things. And often you're really trying to pick something that's just about to break out to all-time highs. That's the sweet spot. If you can find something that's just about to break out to all-time highs, or maybe it's a high of like 20 years, like uranium looks like it's
those are the best, right?
That's a really nice spot. Like, if you bring up the URA index, you look at this and go like, right, this thing could hit an all. Now is breaking out something that basically it did nothing for 20 years, and now it's going to break out. And that's what I look for. Google was doing the same.
That was like the silver trade, right? Silver and gold too.
Silver was doing the same. Gold was doing the same. Like, they're very easy to spot. And often people are like, oh, it's overvalued, or like, if it breaks out to all-time highs, everyone's going to be looking at it. And the pain as it just hits new all-time highs every week is just going to be like, people just buy every dip. And you can normally get out at like a very, very nice multiple.
Good fucking session, Mando. You really came to play today, huh?
I say the same thing every time.
Yeah, but it was good today. But it was particularly good. I feel like I mean this in a very respectful way. I think you give a lot of confidence to full retail traders. You know, like, you give me confidence. Like, damn, I could run up a real port here.
100%. You just described the best hedge fund strategy for. I would reckon it's not just the 1970s. Is to buy new all-time highs. It's not that sophisticated a fucking strategy, and it has insane returns if you have the right risk management around it. Like, if you just know that you have a stop loss as it breaks out to all-time highs, the upside downside of these trades are often just insane. And I actually think that the way that I do it with the volatility bots or the grid bots just means that you
send me, what do you use? You have is it yours? You don't own it.
Binance, or I've used Pinex in the past because it does a lot of stocks actually.
Do you own one or no?
I have done it before on chain on Hyperliquid, and then I just found it was better liquidity on Binance, so I decided to use Binance.
Okay, say less. Mando, you're the goat. I'll see you in our annual show in like a month.
Yeah, I'll see you
Are
soon.
you going to
Keep up
consensus?
the good
Why are you
work,
going to
man.
consensus?
I'm speaking.
Let us know how it is at the crypto on the front. Go preach the
Yeah.
go preach SK Hynix and
I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna say.
Korean stock. Go preach Korean stocks at the crypto conference and let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know how that goes.
All right,
All right,
good
man.
luck. All right. See ya.
Soon.
Peace. Money every time. Cinema. I don't know how you could listen to that and be like, we're just gonna make a lot of money. I just think we're good at trading. I just think we're good at trading. Like, I don't know. Do you listen all the daily guys in here? Like, I feel like you should listen to that and you get confidence in your ability to make money in this market, right? Like, am I tripping? Am I tripping, or it's just like every time it's just like, yeah, the guy's made a lot of. That was his best appearance. I'll tell you a quick story. I was with Mando in Paris in the back of a like in the back of like a Maybach Sprinter. The night that they sold, Mando and OSF sold every Bored Ape. I think it was like 78 Bored Apes for like $9 million or something on Blur in one transaction. Amachi. I was with him. That night in Paris, and it was awesome. It was so good. We had a legendary night. I'm not gonna lie. I think KBM was there too. I didn't know KBM at the time. I think KBM was there. It wasn't super memorable if he was. But it's like the most legendary NFT trade ever. I think. Ever. One click. It was like the local top of Bored Apes. It's down only since then. One click, 78. I think it was 78 apes or something. It was a really expensive bottle of wine purchase at the dinner. Everyone's playing credit card roulette. I think OSF and Mando are playing credit card roulette. I couldn't even swipe my credit card. I couldn't even have swiped like the appetizers on my credit card. I don't think it was 16 million, but it was a lot, dude. It was it had to have been close to 10, I think. Let's see if I can find it then, like, really fast. Mando Bored Ape sale. I think it was like 10. 8 and some change, maybe, yeah. 8 and some change. I would usually rug stream right now, but I want to talk about GameStop. I actually have a lot of energy for some reason. Maybe this is the reason. I don't know. Oh, he's here. We made 19 million on the BAYC trade, including 8 plus mutants plus other side. I tell you, man, he's one of the best. Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't. I tried to force Mando as the winner for Trader of the Year or whatever in the awards, and everybody was like clowning me. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, no way. Like, he doesn't deserve. What? Mando? He didn't have any votes. Da, 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 da. They're like, it's Cooker Flips. I was like, give me a fucking brick. Shout out to Cooker Flips, but stop. Stop it. To be fair, he did bank Aster he took Aster for all they're worth. When are we getting Eve on your stream? She's at consensus. Have you had OSF on the stream? Many times. I had OSF on the stream really early. I love Cooker too. Cooker's a good guy. He's a friend of the stream. I've had OSF on a bunch of times. He came on very early. He's probably due again, but he doesn't trade that much anymore. He's running Rect, but we could do a Rect episode. All right. I want to talk about GameStop. I don't want to rug. I was going to rug, but I don't want to rug. Let's talk about GameStop. I'm going to get up real quick. I'll be back in 30 seconds. And then friend of the stream does go hard. I stole it from All In, I think. Then we'll talk about GameStop. Yeah, the Zcash thing is tough. I had a couple people hit me up about it this weekend and say, what do you think? And I was like, man, what do I think? You can make 19 million selling pictures of monkeys on the internet. How can I be confident that we're all gonna be huge? We show up every day and study. It's a when the hooker asks how you're gonna pay. Picture of Ryan Cohen. That's really good. I'm in your top 5. I don't belong in your top 5, but I will. I will get there. I don't belong in your top 5 right now, but I'm working. Everybody was trying to convince me to stop trade. Not everybody, but people are trying to convince me to stop trading and focus more on like interviews and whatnot, to go to the stream more. And I'm just like, man, I just want to trade. I just do it for like I think I'll make more money in media than I will on markets, probably, because I think I'm making a lot of fucking money in media. But I just want to do it. Like, I just want to do it. If you aped Zcash all-time high break in 2025, it was 100% game. We should tomorrow. Hey, Daniel, write that down. We should go through like recent all-time high breaks and how much you'd be up. That's actually a good segment. Let's do. You want to do that? Let's do that tomorrow. The pit is fucking insane. I feel like the pit. Tell me if you're losing. No, Bitcoin price is real. Oh, it's new. Yeah, it's new. It used to be a heart. Tell me if you've been enjoying the pit recently. I think it's been good. Okay, let's talk about GME real quick. So this drama came out, and I like. So GME obviously is like a controversial stock, right? It's a controversial stock. It obviously short squeeze, but you know this Ryan Cohen guy. I don't know that much about him. We read. If you're a real OG, you remember we read the Michael Burry article about his trade with GameStop, and he compares Ryan Cohen to Warren Buffett. He compares Cohen to Buffett. Says he's a young Buffett, but he wants to be the CEO of GameStop instead. And so what they did is they came out and they submitted an offer to buy eBay. Michael Burry did so. Yes, he did. So they submitted this offer. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Dear Chairman, GameStop Corp. GameStop is proposing to acquire all common stock of eBay at $125 per share. I think it trades at like, God, this is insane. I gotta stop watching this right now. I think it trades at like $100, so 25% premium. We have accumulated 5% economic stake in eBay through derivatives and beneficial ownership of common stock, and are filing a Schedule 13D and HSR notification tomorrow. They basically bought a fuck ton of options on GameStop. They've bought almost no spot. Our offer is $125 per share, comprising of 50% cash and 50% GameStop common stock, with full shareholder election rights as to consideration type and pro rata allocation. This represents a 46% premium to eBay's unaffected closing price on February 4th, 2026. The day GameStop started accumulating its position in eBay, a 27% premium to the 30-day VWAP. eBay spent $2.4 billion on sales and marketing in fiscal 2025 and added 1 million net active buyers. We will take $2 billion of annualized costs out with 12 months of close, $1.2 billion from sales and marketing, $300 million from product development, and $500 million from general and administrative. Since 21, GameStop has gone from a $381 million net loss to $418 million of net income, with SG&A down $800 million. So the business sucks. On cost reductions alone, eBay's diluted GAAP earnings per share from continuing operations would increase from 4.26 to 7.79 in year one. GameStop's 1,600 U.S. locations give eBay a national network for authentication, intake, fulfillment, and live commerce. GameStop had $10 billion in cash and liquid investments as of January 31st, 26. The cash consideration will be funded from cash. That's the proposal. Now, I think it's an interesting proposal because I think that, man, Zcash is just. Is this you guys? Who's buying this? 436. It looks disgusting. That's the volume candle we needed. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's interesting because one, GameStop is going really hard into the Pokemon Gacha stuff, and eBay is just the hub. I don't know if you guys use eBay. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning. It's just, I mean, it's a behemoth. It's a legacy business. It's a fucking behemoth. All sellers are on eBay. All businesses are on eBay. All online shops are on eBay. And even if they haven't really innovated and they haven't changed much in the last 10, 20 years, it's this. It's the biggest. And so Jimmy is going really hard in the Pokemon stuff, and they could crush with eBay. The second reason it's interesting is that Ryan Cohen has an options package for 171 million shares that he can earn if he hits a certain market cap. The crazy part about this is that it's not adjusted for dilution. He needs the market cap to be 20 billion to get the first tranche, but he can just issue a crap load of shares. This is why he wants to buy eBay. That's the second reason it's interesting, okay? Is acquired by any means necessary, and Ryan Cohen gets like a couple $1 billion CEO, and you could just dilute to fuck. So he goes on CNBC this morning. This is a dream job. I wish I get soon. One day I'll get these interviews. This Andrew Ross Sorkin interview for Cohen, but we're not there yet. But he goes on and does a very bizarre interview because basically Andrew Ross Sorkin wants Ryan Cohen to say that he's going to dilute shareholders significantly to get the money for the deal, but he doesn't want to say it. And they do a very, I actually haven't watched it yet. I saved it for the stream. They do a very weird interview.
I think we can start with the idea that the market cap of GameStop is, call it, $11 billion. You have $9 billion on your balance sheet. Arguably, if you're providing effectively all of your stock, and then the cash that gets you to 20. You have this letter from TD. That's another 20. We're now at 40, but we're still off by, call it, 16. And the 20, as far as I understand, while it's considered a highly confident letter, meaning TD saying they're highly confident that they would provide the financing, it's not locked financing.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I hear you.
That's insane. Flustered.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Flustered, dude. What do you say as an interviewer?
I hear you. I understand that. I'm just trying to understand where the rest of the money would come from.
It's half cash, half stock.
I hear you. I'm just saying that math doesn't get you to the
Just ask the question. Ask it though.
to the price that you're offering.
So,
Brian, that's a pretty
what do
straightforward
you-
question.
so what
I
are
don't
you
get
saying?
it.
Yeah. So what do you say? What are you asking? Ask it. Are you going to dilute shareholders for the other 10 billion? Ask it.
And that's a
What-
pretty
so what
straightforward
are you-
question.
so what
I
are you
don't get it. Like, where's the rest
Becky, quick.
of the money coming from?
How are you going to refinance the debt, Michael?
Andrew laid it out pretty
I-
clearly.
I don't understand your question. We're offering half cash, half stock, and we have the ability to issue stock in order to get the deal done. But the full details
Massively
of the
dilutive.
offer are on our website.
Check the fucking website. I mean, bruh. We should actually watch. Do you want to watch a couple minutes of it? The actual interview? Ryan Cohen, CNBC. 16 minutes. It's
The
long.
big deal news of the day. Good to see you. So
How does it start?
there's so many questions about how this would all work. But before we get to any of that, just give us the backstory here and the rationale behind wanting to go ahead and try to do this.
eBay
He's
so uninterested. Why did he even do this interview?
has the second largest commerce franchise, and there's a big opportunity to do something much larger and to pull costs out of the system, as well as accelerate revenue growth and leveraging our physical infrastructure, our focus on collectibles. Could be a much larger business. Something we're just starting.
Happened here. This company already. You've had conversations with the company. You've tried. What's happened here?
No. We're just starting.
You're just starting. And And one of the questions I had was, why not try to initiate conversations outside of the public sphere before putting this into a, I don't know if we're putting it in the context of hostile necessarily, but unsolicited, if you will?
For obvious reasons. eBay is a public company. There's all kinds of perverse financial incentives from the board to the management team. So there's only one way to approach something like this.
Invariably, the audience, and I know a lot of people are going to ask, how does the math for you? Given the price GameStop financing letter from T, how it would work?
Cash,
Here we
half
go.
stock.
Stand there? Well, I think we can start with the idea that the market cap of gamers on your balance sheet, TD still in the TD, rest of the money would come from.
It's half cash, half stock.
I hear you. I'm just saying that math doesn't get you to the
It's half cash, half stock, you fucking retard. I told you.
price that you're offering.
So
Brian, that's a pretty
so
straightforward
He didn't even want to answer. He was gonna nod.
question.
So what
I
are
don't
you
get
saying?
it. Like, where's the rest of the money coming from? Andrew laid it out pretty clearly.
I don't understand your question. We're offering half cash, half stock, and we have the ability to issue stock in order to get the deal done. But the full details
Massively
of the
dilutive.
offer are on our website.
Half cash, half stock. What part of it do you not understand? It's half cash, half stock.
But you're on
In
our
term-
air. We thought we'd get.
Wait, we thought.
But you're on
in
our
term-
air. We thought we'd get.
So, but I don't understand your question.
Dude, this is so tough.
I don't understand your question.
So Ryan, sorry, it's Melissa Liebeck at the Nasdaq. Basically, you've got
Calling
20 billion
somebody in.
presumably from TD. You've got $9 billion of cash on your balance sheet. So that's 29. Half cash, half stock. You might issue more shares. That's what you're talking about. So it could be dilutive to current GameStop shareholders. I want to move on though in terms of your vision for this combined company because
No. No.
half cash, half stock. You might issue more shares. That's what you're talking about. So it could be dilutive to current GameStop shareholders.
Do you think they're getting like their phones are blowing up? Like, move on, move on, move on.
I want to move on, though, in terms of your vision for this combined company, because saying that a combined company could rival the likes of Amazon sets the bar pretty high. How do you foresee that happening, given some key differences
Amazon is
between your
ridiculous.
model
Come
and
on,
Amazon's
Ryan.
model? Notably, Amazon has a huge logistics hub, able to offer all this other sort of delivery service, and GameStop and eBay would be confined to the platform.
There's an opportunity to build a much larger business, to make the business much more efficient and to accelerate revenue growth. And eBay's a very strong business. You look at GameStop as an example. GameStop, very difficult business, should have been bankrupt multiple times over, and it's doing okay. It's making a few bucks. eBay is in a very, very strong position, but it could be in a much stronger position, and it could be a much larger business than what it currently is.
Ryan, you mentioned that, GameStop's in a tough business. I mean, revenues are down like 40% in the last 4 years or something like that. eBay's been a public company for a couple of decades. Where's the evidence that you kind of know how to grow a mature consumer business?
I don't know.
Whoa, who's that?
I mean, didn't you guys call for GameStop's demise multiple times? Like it should
So
have
it's
been
not
bankrupt
dead,
by
therefore
now.
you know
And
how
look
to
at
grow
our
it? Is that what you're saying?
well, look at our financial performance.
Oh my god, dude, he fucking hates CNBC.
Business, I mean, revenues are down like, you mentioned that, GameStop's in a tough business. I mean, revenues are down like 40% in the last 4 years or something like that. eBay's been a public company for a couple of decades. Where's the evidence that you kind of know how to grow a mature consumer business?
I don't know. I mean, didn't you guys call for GameStop's demise multiple times? Like it should have been bankrupt by now.
So it's not dead, therefore you know how to grow
our,
it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, look at our financial performance. Is it better than you guys anticipated? Because you guys said it was going to be doing really, really poorly, and it's actually doing okay.
Oh, I'm the fucking dome. I'm the GOAT, bro. Oh, I muted it.
Because you guys said it was going to be doing really, really poorly, and it's actually doing okay.
Ryan, let me come at this
They're
a slightly...
They're genuinely appalled. Nobody knows what to say. No one knows if they're going back and forth or all texting. Nobody knows what to say.
Different way. Assuming that you were able to get this half cash, half stock arrangement effectively by diluting your shares, I imagine that's how you'd have to do it, but I still don't understand fully how that would work. And you were able to capture more cash, I guess, from others. In terms of paying it down, can you walk us through the math of that? Because if you look at both of these companies in terms of just how much cash they produce, it would be a tight bill.
Did you look at the materials that we posted online?
I have looked at the materials that you've posted online, but we also have an audit.
Dude. Oh my fucking God. This is unbelievable. Did you check the fucking website?
Audience that I'm hoping is going to want to understand this and hear from you so that you can walk through this, because people do look at these numbers and they say that they're trying to wrap their head around it. I don't think that everybody automatically says, oh my goodness.
This is me when I'm like, hey, could you answer for the audience how quantum computers work? The audience is asking.
This absolutely makes 100% sense. And he can write the check tomorrow, and if he wanted to close the deal tomorrow, in fact, I am sure that if you were the CEO of eBay and the board of eBay today, you would say, I don't know whether they have the money to be able to do this, and they're watching us now, and other investors of eBay are watching us now, and they're not going to call eBay's board and say, you need to talk to these people unless they understand how this all is supposed to work.
Well, we have a 5% stake in eBay. It makes us one of the largest shareholders, so they have a fiduciary duty to their shareholders to evaluate this proposal. And in terms of the actual earnings power of the business, this is a business that is under earning and can make a lot more money. And GameStop is a good blueprint for that. Obviously, you know, you guys thought the business wouldn't be where it currently is, and eBay could be making a lot more money. So there's going to be some leverage on the balance sheet in order to...
First one was Aura. Second one was not.
Make an acquisition possible, but it's also going to be making a lot more money in the future than it is today, because it's going to be run a lot more efficiently. And when a business is not growing users and spending $2.5 billion in sales and marketing, there's a lot of fat to cut. And the earnings power, as we laid out in our investor presentation, could be way higher, double the earnings in a pretty short period of time. And so it's a business that can take on more leverage because it's going to be making more money in the future.
My understanding is that in terms of running a proxy contest now, that would be uniquely complicated. Is this something that you would try to do in the future?
You cut out. What?
I apologize.
What did you say?
I'm saying.
Oh my.
could you imagine running a proxy contest against this board in the future? It looks like from a timeline perspective, that would probably be very hard to do now. But in terms of trying to do that on a long-term basis, maybe next year, if, for example, they don't come to the table.
Well, there's ways to do something before, and it's a long thing level.
From anybody at eBay? Or since you put this news out yesterday afternoon, have you heard from anybody at eBay or people behind the scenes, advisors and the like?
I am sure they've hired the most expensive advisory firms and lawyers to help them navigate this. So, no, not yet. I'm sure we'll get a bunch of scripted responses and they'll load up.
Dude, I kind of like him. He's getting me here. I'm not going to lie.
Because, of course,
he just ripped this out. No, I don't think he has a PR team. He just ripped this shit, dude.
I mean,
back against the wall. Didn't talk to anybody. Just fired it on Twitter.
You know, you're dealing with a company that is very entrenched. It's a very good company. It's maybe one of the greatest companies.
One of the greatest companies.
But they're going to do whatever they can to, it's survival. So they'll do whatever they can to protect themselves. So no, we haven't heard anything yet.
Ryan, you alluded to it before, but there are a lot of people who sort of were betting against you, let's say, in GameStop, and I know you don't appreciate that. There are some skeptics, though, surrounding this deal who will say that, oh, that Ryan Cohen, he wants to make sure that he hits a minimum threshold to receive his first tranche of compensation, the minimum threshold being $20 billion market cap for GameStop or $2 billion in cumulative EBITDA. Is that the case, that this is a bid to make sure that you're going to get paid in that first tranche to boost the GameStop's market cap?
I mean, I obviously want to build something much larger, but I don't benefit unless shareholders benefit. So my compensation package is aligned with shareholders, and I want to build a much larger business.
So just larger means successful. Larger means aligned with shareholder interests.
Larger means maximizing shareholder value.
Nah, dude, he's just trolling. He's dead ass trolling.
And increasing earnings. Maximizing shareholder value.
He's trolling.
And increasing earnings.
Yeah, Ryan, just to touch on that point, I don't know all the details of your compensation package. Maybe you can clear it up for us. If you get to a larger market cap by taking two smaller market cap companies and merging them together, or swallowing a much bigger market cap company, does that count? Because those shareholders wouldn't necessarily see the same gains that they would if
nice question.
You just grew market cap by growing operating earnings. I don't know what the details of your compensation are, though, directly. Does it matter if you swallow a bigger company and that's how you get the market cap, or do the shareholders actually have to see the same gains?
I don't benefit, and I'm aligned. I'm aligned with shareholders. So, and unless our market cap increases substantially,
bro, he's smiling. Ah! Bro,
shareholders. So, and unless our market cap increases substantially and earnings increases substantially, I don't get any salary, any cash, no golden parachutes, nothing. So,
he can't even look. He can't even look at the camera. Where's the body language guy?
It's pretty aligned with shareholders. There's
say it again.
But the individual shareholders don't see that huge benefit if you're combining a lot more shareholders in with that, and then diluting shareholders by issuing more debt on top of it. You see what I'm saying? I get it. If you grow your market cap by 10 times, sure, I think you should absolutely get gains, but not if you do it by swallowing a bigger company and just kind of absorbing all of that into it too, because individual shareholders didn't see necessarily a huge gain from that.
If I don't hit the thresholds, then I don't get anything.
Hey, Ryan, two final questions for you. One is just the 5% stake you have in the company is in the combination of stock itself, my understanding is, but also derivatives. Can you explain how that works?
all derivatives. It's all options.
It's currently mostly derivatives, and there's a little bit of stock that puts us under the regulatory thresholds, but it's currently the majority of the position is derivatives.
And was that when you first began that process in February? Were you thinking that you wanted to get a stakeholder in the company to ultimately buy it, or were you thinking that this initially potentially just could be a good investment on the back of it? Obviously, by the way, on the back of even announcing this news, the stock is up now at 9%.
It's a very good business. It's a very strong business, and it all depends on the future earnings power of the business. If I was running the business, I'd be making a lot more money.
Okay, and then here's my final question. Given the rationale for the transaction
this was awesome.
that you've laid out, which, by the way, I've heard relatively good things about, just the idea that, it's interesting to combine the idea of eBay and a GameStop.
I agree.
Just as a concept, how would you feel if eBay called you up and said, we'd like to pursue a transaction with you, and we would like to buy GameStop at a, call it, 20% premium to your stock price? In that case, it would be, a different type of deal.
I have the same obligation to my shareholders as eBay has to theirs. And so, if something like that were to happen, then I have the same obligation to maximize value for my shareholders as eBay has.
Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan Cohen, we want to thank you for joining us, especially as this news is just dropping over the past 24 hours, and we do hope to continue this conversation as this continues to play out.
Thank you, Ryan Cohen. Okay, bullish or bearish? Ryan Cohen, GameStop, after watching that. I've never heard him talk prior to that. Bullish or bearish? Ryan Cohen. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Here's the deal. I want to like him a lot. I want to like him. I do. And part of me thinks that shit was cold as fuck. He goes on there, fuck you guys, fuck CNBC, fuck eBay. I'm fucking Ryan Cohen in the leather jacket, and I'm about to get 170 million shares at GameStop. I want to like him, but that shit was pretty weak. I'm not going to lie. I think it was weak, dude. Why do it? Why do it? Why do it? Do your own live stream. Go say what you want to say and throw some passion in it. Like, if you're at eBay, you see this and you're like, what the fuck, man? It was kind of corny. It was like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of this. It's giving me this energy. Y'all saw this?
I'm trying to get in the end zone. I ain't gonna let nobody in my way stop me from doing that. So getting very serious, it's the way I feed my family. So
it's like the lemon stare, bro. I don't know. I'm just like, bro, what are you doing?
I don't think I've ever seen as many anonymous reports about Mekhi Lemon and how weird he was in his combine interviews as I have this.
Like,
I'm trying to get for me.
Maybe it's not the best comp. I don't know. It's just like, what are you doing, bro? And then if you hold GameStop, it's like when they leaked the Beats acquisition at Apple. I think that was an accident, though. It's just like, what are you doing, bro? It's a weird move. And so our dear friend, soon to be friend of the stream, Michael Burry, has fully sold GameStop. Wall Street does indeed mistake debt for creativity and does so constantly, wrote Burry, who bets against U.S. mortgage markets were caught on the Big Short. I, of all people, should have known. Sold all of it. And so he's out completely. GME, which did pump shortly, has retraced the entire move and looks terrible. Is down 10% intraday and then down 1.5 after hours. And eBay stock is up 5% and then down like 1% after hours. And it is also conveniently at a roaring all-time fucking high. All-time high on eBay. You could have bought February lows of 26 and binked that little fucker for like a 42% or so. It's not the sexiest company in the world, but it moves and it goes up. And it's pretty electric. So stocks rock. I love following stocks. That was fun. I enjoyed that. We'll see what happens. I was really close to longing GME. I wasn't really close. I wanted to long on Thursday, but Hyperliquid didn't have it yet, and I don't have any money in my Robinhood account, so I didn't really know how to trade it. And then this morning I woke up and it was, Rasmer texted me mega church long on GME. I'm like, I probably mega church short, but I was late. It was been a really cool trade if you watch that interview and you shorted, because it felt like, I don't think anyone knew how close they were to an actual deal. It was just comms, and then they realized they've never even spoken. So that is GME. That's the eBay saga, and that's definitely the most exciting thing that happened today in the stock market. Now I'm gonna rug stream in a minute. If you're new here, which I know there's a couple people, first-time chatters that are here, I have a Telegram. I like the Telegram. I post all my trades. I post all my commentary. Expect a light week in the pit because I'm fucking sick. I don't know how I made it 3 hours. I actually feel pretty good. I'm fucking sick. I feel terrible. I don't know who got me sick, but somebody did. And if you want to join the pit, this is how to do it. It's a sick little Telegram. I love it. I post in there all day. It's awesome. And I'll give it to the YouTube guys as well. I like it, man. I like posting my trades. I like talking about the market. You guys have been kind of weak with the reacts recently, but I think it's a skill issue. It's on me, low key. I'll give you the trading view in the pit. Yeah, sure. And that is what we will do. So tomorrow we may or may not have I think we should do a solo stream tomorrow. You want to do a solo tomorrow? We're going to do a solo tomorrow, or maybe we can have Robert Leshner on Wednesday. If you're down. Solo tomorrow, Leshner on Wednesday for some crypto, and we'll see. I mean, markets are hot right now, so I won't pre-fire any guests. I'll see what happens with. You've been liking solo or guest more, by the way. Solo or guest more recently. Hard to tell. Remember the 3 guests a day era? Yeah, you're a fucking OG. Guest. Okay, we've had good guests. I got an opinion on Palantir earnings. Charts down. I can get Ansem on. Also, tomorrow, what is it? Daniel, let's do the South Korea laws, and then let's do the chart thing. Write both of those down for me if you can. And there's a third thing I wanted to do, but I forget what it is. Sick. All right, it's gonna be a movie. I'm gonna go take a nap and get fucking rested for tomorrow because we have money to make. And all-time high breaks. Thank you. All-time high breaks. Write that down as well, DNAP, for me. And let's have a fucking day. So Zcash 431. I am absolutely just vehemently long. I would not recommend tailing me ever. Don't ever tail me. Just do your own thing. Figure out your own style. And we got money to make, gentlemen. So I love you. I appreciate you. I will see you tomorrow at some all-time high breaks. If you just joined the pit, welcome. I love you to death. Thank you for being here. It means the world. And until tomorrow, peace.